What's going on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another episode of the True Big Blue Podcast with the Big Blue crew, Big Pat Sports Talk. Yours truly over there with the smiley face looking like the thing off one of the car dealerships. Classified 3F with Joe and Big Blue Lou G Nation Inside Sports will probably be on a little later. But as we all know, we got the Seahawks coming up. I'm on record saying we're going 7-1. I think we put pressure on Geno Smith and we show him exactly who the New York Giants are. And I think we get out of Seattle with a 23-20 win. It's been some reports, man, that Daniel Jones is playing some top quarterback football. And Joe, I just want to start it off with you. How do you feel about Daniel Jones so far this
Love it.
season?
I love it. I love the feeling. I love that a lot of people had him done. Get rid of him. I was like, no, give him this last year. And get your team, know your team, and then the following year you get the quarterback. Well, a few people come over to that side, but there was still no fanfare for him, and I fought for that kid. All he had was Saquon Barkley when he was there. Every other time, a role player, a I washed up $20 million left tackle, uh, stuff like that, and then COVID hit. You want to talk about a kid that's had the shit pulled over his face constantly because he keeps digging away at it. And finally, he's got a team. He just needs receivers. We knew that, but we tried showing the coaching staff that, but they don't want to buy into it. Well, our offense is almost set except for a receiver or two. So I thank God for Daniel Jones. He keeps chucking it in there. They keep dropping it. He'll throw it in there again. It comes to a point where he's like, I can't throw any of these guys these balls. No one can catch. You got to give some healthy receivers, not third string quarterback or wide receiver, four stringer.
What's
Pat, what do
going
you
on,
think?
Ty? Yeah, what's going on, Ty's Honey Badger, Coach, Bookends? What's going on? Thank you guys for
Hey
tuning in.
guys.
I'm thinking that I'm just gonna come right out and say it. A lot of people are gonna bash me. I don't care. I'm used to it. I think we have a top 10 quarterback on our hands. When you really look at the way that he's playing,
He was a
and
number
he,
two in the league last week.
I mean, I think we have a top 10 quarterback on our hands. If you look at the way he's playing, everything that we asked this guy to do, he's done it and some. He's one of the best
Hey,
running quarterbacks in the league.
I'd like
Go
to
ahead,
add
Joe.
something to that. I would not say top 10, climbing to top 5 in a couple of years, maybe win the Super Bowl, maybe 2. Yeah, yeah. Keep working, keep digging, keep driving every day. Here the other day, where's this victory? Oh, it's good win, but we gotta get in there and get back to work. But you don't ever hear
Taj, that's
anybody
you.
say that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What's going on, Taj? But yeah, definitely just this year, just basing off this year, I think Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback in the league this
Oh, they
year.
can't see now. Cool.
You, I don't think you can name 10 quarterbacks that's playing better than Daniel Jones this year. So, considering the situation that he is in, he is not in a bad situation, so don't try to take it that route. But he is in a situation where it comes to his receiver talent, he's bottom tier of the league. when it comes to his receiver talent on the field. I like Slayton. I actually appreciate what Richie James goes out there and does. I actually appreciate what Marcus Johnson goes out there and does. They play hard. It's just that they're not as talented as these receivers that are on these other teams with these elite quarterbacks, as you call them. He doesn't have a Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins and a Jamar Chase like a Joe Burrow. He doesn't have a Mecole Hardman or a Juju Smith-Schuster and a Kelsey like a Patrick Mahomes. Hell, he doesn't have a Gabriel Davis and Stephon Diggs like a Josh Allen and Knox at tight end. He's not bad. Hell, even Justin Herbert, even though Mike Williams just got hurt, but he had Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Gerald Everett, Keenan Allen, Palmer, DeAndre Carter. The list goes on. And Daniel Jones is not even working with the. I mean, if you want to rate our receivers out of 10, what you gonna rate them? No higher than a 3 or 4 in my book. No higher than a 3 or 4 in my book. His best receiver has been Wan'Dale Robinson, and he just got done playing his second game. Your number one receiver in Kenny Galladay, the big contract man, he's not playing. Your first round draft pick, Kadarius Toney, he's not playing. Hell, Sterling Shepard got hurt. I mean, shit. Only thing we got out there really is the offensive line that run blocks their ass off. I give them that. The pass blocking leaves a little bit to desired at times, but they've gotten way better at that as well. And Saquon Barkley. We're running. Do you know our receivers are so not up to par that we run 11, 12, and 13 personnel over half the time?
Yep.
That last drive where we were closing it out, we had to run the same run play 8 times in a row. Because you can't put your trust in these receivers. Not only are they not creating major separation, they're dropping the ball when Daniel Jones put the laser in there to them. They drop it. And it wasn't just last game. They've been dropping balls throughout the season. And then Bellinger, the guy that was stepping up, he got hurt. And now he's gone for the season with an eye socket fracture. But somehow, some way, after all that said, that dude the last 4 games has a higher QBR than any other quarterback in the league. It is not even close. And just to show you that I'm not BSing you guys, because I just found this out. They're not going to show this to you because they want to keep that DJ Sucks narrative going.
Yeah.
But look at that.
Look at
The
that.
next closest quarterback to him over this 4-game win streak that we had is Patrick Mahomes at 74.7. He has a 7-point higher than the next quarterback closer to him in QBR. And this is not even the regular quarterback rating. This is the QBR rating everybody wants to go to bash Daniel Jones. Nobody brings this up. Almost 10 points higher than the quarterback of the guys right now, Josh Allen. So he must be doing something right. And for people to say that if you get this man a number one receiver, that nothing would change, you're fooling yourself. If he could do an 81.7 QBR with those receivers and those injuries on the field, what do you think he'd do if he had 2 good receivers out there that you had to respect with a tight end like a lot of these guys have? Hell, you might see the first 100 QBR rating. And that is with a bunch of drops, bookends. He has an 81.7 rating with a bunch of drops. So his rating could be even higher. But the
Eric,
but the Giants are winning in spite of Daniel Jones? That's crazy. They get some of these chats. Levance, thank you for tuning in.
Miz.
I have to bring up that Sanchez thing, bookends. You told me to listen to it. Seabrook, what's going on,
Like
Seabrook? He says,
Sanchez.
he says, what's up to the panel, yo? I was the only one who wanted to go to war with Lieutenant Dan, and now look, 6-1 player of the week. Pay me my money. Let's go, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah?
Fancy
Talking about
player of the
that,
week, baby.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is playing his way into a lucrative contract after this year. What's going on, Not Zay? Miz, what's
Hey,
going on, Miz? Link is in the chat if you want to come on, Miz. But Taj, we didn't get what you. What do you think about this whole DJ situation going forward? What do you think is going to happen with him going forward?
Oh, I think he gonna get his bag. He gonna get his money after the season if he continues to keep this up. And you mean if that happens, we can continue to build our roster, get our alpha dog at wide receiver. We can keep Saquon, and we can keep it rolling. And hopefully we'll keep it pushing. Hopefully for a longer run for that Super Bowl. DJ's playing like a top 10 quarterback right now.
Yeah, he actually is. Like he actually is. You can't tell me 10 quarterbacks that's playing better than him right now. But Joe, let me ask you a question.
yes.
Do you think Daniel Jones is a Super Bowl ready quarterback if we put some receiver talent on the field with him?
Don't you? Doesn't Taj and everybody else who watched Daniel Jones play? Hey, it is what it is. I had a feeling he had something in him. He's got a certain je ne sais quoi that just is dynamite in the bottle right now. He loves this offense. He loves being able to run it, and it's only going to get better. It's going to have more catches. Hey, well, what if we went this way instead of this way, and then yeah, So then they got two plays, and then four, and then eight. Now they're starting to come along. Now they're starting to get a program. So I expect this week or next week be to pour the doors on people, and it's all going to be can the wide receivers catch?
Yeah, I'm really gonna pay attention to the Seahawks game because if the receivers underwhelm during the Seahawks game, uh, I don't know, man. It just depends on what Dable and Shane want to do. Do they want to try to get a receiver in here to try to make a run this year? Because both those guys, as you know, going into the season, they were telling Giants fans to temper your expectations. This is a rebuilding year. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
anybody expected us to shoot out the cannon like we did, like we're doing so far this year at 6-1.
Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
we go 7-1 and the receivers underperform. I mean, if
Heading
you
to the
were the
bye.
GM, yeah, heading to the bye, if you were the GM, would you consider going to look for some receiver help? Or do you depend on Galladay and Tony to come back and get it rolling for you? Or, I mean, how would you go about that situation, Joe?
Ah,
Because that's a tough one for me.
yeah. Can we come back to it and I could think on it a little bit? You
Well,
know?
I'll answer for me then. It's a tough situation because when you think about it, you don't start off many seasons 7-1. Hey, what's coming? What's going on, Chosen? Hey, Chosen, I just asked a good question. See if you could pop on and answer this question for me real quick. If you want to come on and talk your talk a little bit with Big Pat Sports Talk, it's my good friend from Twitter and with the Shakedown Crew podcast. They do pretty good work. Go check those guys out. Good Giants content. They talk about other teams as well. But man, that's tough, Dojo. If
It
we go
is.
out there and beat Seattle in Seattle and the receivers play like they did last game, let's say they have 4 or 5 drops again this game, and Daniel Jones pulls out a miracle. We're down 20, 20 to 16. He gets a touchdown at the end of the game again. We win 23-20 like I predict. Do you keep putting Daniel Jones through that?
Yeah, that's building his confidence. Hey, he can go out and
No,
win this, and he does win this.
think about this though. That would be his 6th comeback of the year.
6.
We'll have to have this man healthy going into the playoffs if we want to have any type of chance. And the way that he played this last game, let's be honest, he's probably had to ice up numerous times after every game because he's taking hits. He's running on a bad ankle right now. He takes hits even when he gets the ball off. And then for him to get the ball off to his receivers and they drop it most of the time, and then he's like, we see now that DJ has that leadership in him, and he has that little bit of fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself in him as well.
Yep.
Like I've seen that multiple times this year. What's going on, Levance? What's going on, Jarris, Roy Williams? Thank you guys for tuning in.
Fahrenheit.
Oh, hey,
Mr.
my
Fahrenheit.
friend, E the Chosen One. What's going on?
Yo, what's going on, man? First and foremost, I want to come through, pull up, show love to my brother Big Pat,
Oh, what up?
who has been on my show numerous times, man. And if y'all don't know me, I'm going to introduce myself through my football content. So what's going on, brothers? Talk to me.
I'm just asking this question. Joe said he need to think about it for a little while, so he's gonna come up with something good.
What up,
But
Joe?
Hey.
I'm just asking this question here. If we go and beat Seattle and go 7-1 going into the bye week, and we win again with the receivers being underwhelming like they were this last game, if you were Joe, Shane, and Dabo, do you go out and get some receiver help, or do you just take a chance on Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney coming back healthy, and maybe that's the help that we need?
Hell
I'm
no.
like, what do you do in that situation?
It's first of all, it's obvious. And what I mean by obvious is sustenance. There's no way that we can possibly sustain winning if we are going to go any deeper into the season, especially with those 5 division games being so late in the year. When those division games come up, we're going to need guys outside of Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley to make plays. That's where your money is made. And every smart GM knows when you see a schedule like this, even if you're surprisingly winning, right? You say to yourself, that allows me to do something to build on when it comes down to what I need necessary moving forward in case of the playoffs. Think about it, Big Pat. You said we'll be 7-1. The chances of us making the playoffs is inevitable. It's inevitable, but it's going to come down to those division games, those tougher games in the season, and those are battle-tested games. So you're going to see your deficiencies show, especially that late in the season against divisional opponents and guys like the Minnesota Vikings. And think about it. One of these guys can easily be one of our opponents coming up in the playoffs. Why wouldn't you want to be built for the playoff fight when you lost it in the regular season due to your deficiencies? So if I'm Joe Shane, the first thing that I do is say to myself, what areas are we lacking in which will make this kid get past the level he's playing without the things that he has that he's already on this level with? And that is the wide receiving group. There's nothing that Kenny Galladay can show me, tell me, sell me to make me believe he's going to come back to be anybody than what he already has been. We have a rookie that was playing in college 2 years ago that has more production than him on the field in damn near 2 years. Stay where you are, become a post-June 1st cut, give us that bread back, right? And let's move forward. I just took a look at some numbers, and I'll let you guys have it after this, and thank you for having me on. Jerry Jeudy will cost us $1.1 million. What? You telling me?
Off his rookie contract.
Yo, 1.1 million.
Contract.
What is the purpose of us even having the conversation with Kenny Galladay? He is making 70 more million than Jerry Jeudy. I'm gonna rest my case on that because I tend to get emotional when it comes to talking about Kenny Galladay. So I'm gonna move on.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, man. Keep
Hey,
on
Yo,
spitting,
I'm
man.
not.
let me
so
let me say
let
this
me.
though,
I was
Joe.
going to close with this real quick, Pat.
Okay.
The answer to your question is absolution. Absolution. There's no question about it. And if I was Joe Shane right now, it would be me, Brian Dable, and Mike Kafka blowing Jerry Judy phone up, DJ Moore phone up, and Elijah Moore's phone up. You guys can do better. This is better. Let's get this kid what he needs and let him lead you where you never been before with no quarterback that you've ever previously had, because he's going to be the best quarterback all of you have played with as well. So let's make this match happen.
What's going on, Stas? Joe, you ready to answer?
What's up?
Yeah,
Stas,
sure, I
what up,
guess.
baby? Great meeting you in a different situation and in a
Yeah.
different platform. And I
Yeah,
hope
man.
you heard everything that I just said, because I'm not repeating it for you.
Oh no, man. I'm actually gonna
Shout
say
out to
this.
all y'all on Twitter, man.
I'm gonna say something that might mess with all y'all right now. I'm gonna say something that might mess with everybody right now. If
Pat,
you
you
are
know what to do, he get
convinced,
crazy.
if you
Mm-hmm.
are convinced that Daniel Jones is your guy, and if Joe Shane, I'm just saying hypothetically, and you're like, we want to make this run, why not trade a first round pick? You ain't gonna pick before the 18th round, in the 18th pick in the first round anyway. You ain't gonna get one of the top studs. Why not
All
go ahead
right.
and get you a bona fide world beater if you really feel that way?
Okay, Stas. Well, I'm gonna let Joe go first. I'm gonna let him answer the question, and I'm gonna answer you, Stas. But go ahead, Joe.
Well, okay. What was the question again? So just so we got
I said if we win
right.
this week against the Seahawks and the receivers still underperform like they did this past week against the Jaguars, but Daniel Jones turns into Super Dan again and brings it home for us at the end and gets his sixth comeback victory, or however we do it.
Okay.
We go into a bye week. Do you go into that bye week shopping around for a receiver that's better than what we have on the field? Or do you just stand pat and hope that Galladay and Tony could come back and elevate this offense at the receiver position?
I say no. I say they go no sale and just run everything with everybody they have, and they're we getting guys back. So we're getting stronger every day. So the second stringer sits back, the first stringer takes over his spot, but they maybe all the linemen might form something this year.
Okay, so you say stand pat.
Yeah.
Everybody, chosen one stats. I just want to go a little back and forth banner with you guys. Give this True Big Blue podcast a little bit of the debate show that they love to see. I think there's positives and negatives to both. Styles, I know you just said give up a first round pick to go get a receiver. I'll ask you this question
No,
before I
not
tell
any
you.
receiver. I'm talking
No,
about you going out.
I know what
Yeah.
you're saying. I know what you're saying. What receiver out there is worth a first round pick? Tell me that. Tell me those receivers you believe that's worth a first round pick out there that people would give up. What receiver out there that's available? Because the highest receiver that I've seen that's available is DJ Moore, and I'm definitely not giving up a first round pick for DJ.
He's
So
definitely the highest, but he's the one that we know that's actively on the trade block, right? We know we those are that's we see his name because it's already circulated. There's a fire sale in Carolina. All I'm saying is, if you're a GM, and if, let's just say in the back rooms, you and Dave are talking, and you're like, "This is our guy," then I would not hesitate to pull that trigger and start calling teams that may not necessarily have someone on the trade block and be like, "Would you take a one?" That's all I'm saying. That, and the only reason why is that if you get to the playoffs, which it's a 90% chance that we're at least going to get to the wild card, well, you picking 18th. You're already picking in the bottom. So if receivers high on your draft board, then it would make sense. Now let's say if corners high in this draft board, well then that wouldn't make sense. But if you're thinking, oh, next year I need to go out in the draft and get me a bona fide first round pick already, why not? That's all I'm saying. Like, it's a play, it's a chess move that's on the table, possibly.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Let's say if for some odd reason D Hop was available, I would give up a first round pick for D Hop. I would,
Oh, absolutely.
even though D Hop is like 28 or 29 right now, I would give up a first rounder for D Hop for sure. But that's about the only receiver I would do it for. No other receiver I believe is worth that. To be honest with you. But let's say with the Jerry Jeudy, because he brought up Jerry Jeudy. He said get on the phone with the Broncos right now for Jerry Jeudy. Let's just say that the asking price at the Broncos is legit. They say a second and a fourth. Would you do a second and a fourth for Jerry Jeudy? Me knowing that I know that he's not a true number one, but would you do a second and a fourth for Jerry Jeudy just because he's better than what we have now? If you still there, E.
Yeah, I'm here, brother. You know I ain't going nowhere. That's a tough thought because that's too good. You feel what I'm saying? And that right there, I don't think. Now, I'm not combating what you offered, but I don't think that the Broncos even think that that's a realistic thing to say. You know what I mean? Like, I think one pick, which most likely to me would be in between a second and a third, because that's what they're going to ask for, right? They're going to bring that up, right? Be a second or a third, which I think they're going to definitely take a third and a player. Now, I'm not taking away from what you're asking. I'm saying if we're talking realistic value, they know they're not getting no first. A second is a stretch, but a fourth, I don't think that they're gonna want that. I'm just saying realistically. I just think that they're gonna definitely try to stay in the second or third round, and the player, something like that. Like,
I'm thinking.
I
If you
wouldn't give
came
a
to the
second and a
Broncos,
third.
the hell no, I'm not giving a second for anybody. But
yeah, I'm just going off the reality mindset of trying to get, how the negotiating game goes, fellas. You're gonna try to get the most value for what you're selling. So it all sounds good, but what's the reality?
But I want to ask you guys this question. The Broncos said, "Give us a third, Giants, and we'll give you Jerry Jeudy. Give us a third."
I'll take it.
I'm gonna ask the panel.
I'm with it.
Well, E already answered.
I'm with it too.
I'm agree. I'm with it too. But Joe,
yeah, I'm with it.
Joel, if the Broncos said third round pick right now, we'll give you Jerry Jeudy, would you do it?
No, Jerry Judy's not even a 1. We've got a 2. We've got a slot receiver. Why the hell do we need another 2 for?
Can I please answer, Joe?
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, Joe, have you ever seen Jerry Jeudy play?
Yes.
Do you like Jerry Jeudy?
On that offense, yes.
Okay. Who's better than Jerry Jeudy on our team?
Who's better? Well, Sterling Shepard was.
Right. He's not going to be playing for maybe the rest of his life.
Right. He's about it.
Okay.
I want that. I want that wide receiver 1 you get in the draft at 1 and develop him.
You can still do that.
Okay, right. Let me jump in real quick, Joe, because you was answering me. I got your back. I'm with you. I see you couldn't give me right many people that were better than Jerry Jeudy because you see him as a true number 2, right? I need you to also realize Darius Slayton is a true number 2 as well. Wandell Robinson is a true number 2 as well. Kadarius Toney is a definite true number 2, which teeter-totters on number 1 if he's available, if you can see it. So as of this point right here, he's a number 2 as well. We got a bunch of number 2s, but having the best number 2 is a big difference, because once you add a number 1, your third number 2 is tearing the field up. And listen to my philosophy. That's where you have the situation of a Jamar Chase, a Tyler Boyd, and a T. Higgins.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, honestly, that's another person I'd give a 1 away for is T. Higgins.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll be available after when
For
his
a
contract
second
is up.
rounder or first, yeah.
I don't want to move any numbers around. I like the guys that we have right now. I want to see them play.
But that's the thing, Joe. They not playing.
Well, here's the thing, Joe. So Joe, let me spin it a different way. All right. Let's just say you go out there and you get Jerry Jeudy. You're still going to control him for what? 3 years, right? Now,
yeah, 2 years. 2 years.
2 years. All right, you're still going to control him for 2 years on his rookie, right? Now, next year, okay, you know Galladay's gone. You know that Sterling Shepard ain't going to be here, okay? Richie James on a 1-year deal. He ain't going to be here more than likely. Marcus Johnson on a 1-year deal. He ain't going to be here more than likely. You really have Wandell. You're going to have Jeudy. You're going to have hamstring Toney. And so you're going to be building this receiving core up over again. You're going to have to. So he's going to fall in line. Not only does the reason why Jeudy makes so much sense is that he's so young. He is on that rookie deal. He's going to be cheap. You can extend him. I think he was a first-round pick, so you're going to control his option. So you can, it moves the board for you in so many ways. I will go as far as giving a third round in 2023 third round, and then a 2024 conditional for him, if that's what it took to make it happen, and do like a 2024 conditional fourth or something for him. I'm willing to do that. What I'm not going to do for Jeudy is give a second or 1. He's not that guy. But if he helps me reset my board, now your corners got to cover more. Like, I'm shifting the quality of my receivers to more match the quality of your corners by adding a guy like that, even though he's still a 2. Because you still need to go out and get you a 1 next year regardless.
And let's not forget, for a number 2 that Jerry Jeudy is, he would automatically become our best route running wide receiver by far. His route running ability is immaculate. It's immaculate. And don't forget, his straight line speed is a big deal. He's Darius Slayton with superior route running, because they both have a little situation with their hands at times.
Yeah.
We're going to keep that real. But his route running, the best guy on the team. And we all know route running creates separation overall.
So, let me pose this question. And I know the answer, but I just want to make a conversation point. Let's just say you got this guy. He's superior route running. Judy's there, but his hands can be sus. Is he still clearing out the trash for the bottom of the routes? Is he still clearing out coverage for your 3 wide receiver? Isn't he still clearing out, pulling safeties that can't be down in the box now to help with Saquon?
Absolutely.
Just running the route alone.
Just running routes alone.
Let me paint this picture. Because I know my guy Joe. He wants to build through the draft. He doesn't care about any of these guys out here, to be honest with you. And I'm like that as well. But I will say this. Let me paint a picture for you. You guys made up a good point. The receivers that we have on this roster, Johnson won't be here next year. Slayton probably won't be here next year. Riggs won't be here next year. Galladay won't be here next year. So you're probably going into the season with injury-riddled Tony, Wandell Robinson, and let's just say we did give up the third for Jerry Jeudy. Now, if we make the playoffs, let's say we make a playoff win, we're probably picking around 23 to 24. the 24th pick in the third round, I'm not that worried about if I can get a Jerry Jeudy that helps us go deep into the playoffs. So you're looking at Jerry Jeudy as a number 2 going into the season, and Wan'Dale Robinson as your slot, and a weapon of Kadarius Toney going forward. Let's say Toney comes back and balls out, and we have a very good receiving room with Toney, Jeudy, and Wan'Dale Robinson. But we need that one guy that you can put on the outside that has a little bit of height that can handle the throws DJ does in traffic. I think that's a very good situation to only give up a third round pick. I think that's a very good situation because if you bring in a number 1 receiver with Toney, Jeudy, and Wan'Dale Robinson, you're looking at an offense that could turn into like a Chiefs offense with that monster in the backfield with Saquon Barkley. It's the only reason why I would consider it because Jerry Jeudy is a legit number 2. You put a legit number 1 on the other side, you working with something.
And can I give you guys a name? If you don't follow college football, there is a name that I want you guys to see that is going to come out and be a legit number 1 that can be a realistic pick. His name is Quentin Johnston from TCU.
TCU, yeah.
Yo,
Absolute monster. Monster.
Yo, he will be available because there are going to be so many quarterback needy teams in this draft. It's going to be crazy.
I don't think he's available in the 20s, man. You got Jackson and Jimmy Smith that's not having a good year.
But you got to understand,
Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison, you got
is not having a good year.
Well, he picking it up. He's picking it up. That Josh Downs kid from North Carolina, they are picking it up, bro. They are picking it up. And I'm telling you right now, it always happens. There's going to be some trades. There's going to be somebody's going to trade for something that they need because a wide receiver is not one of the big needs for a lot of teams. If you think a wide receiver needs, you'll only find that starting around the 10th to 11th pick. Everybody else is going to need something defensively and something offensively. So it's going to be a lot
and don't forget, you could pick up next year. Even let's say you want to get a receiver down in the 4th round, 3rd round, or you won't have your 3rd. We probably end up getting a 3rd from the comp pick, but let's say you get a receiver in day 3 of the draft that you want to develop. You can still grab a guy who's towards the back end of his career out in free agency, who's still going to do something good for you. This Jarvis Landry's a free agent next year. I'd fucking give him a short deal and bring him in. That's
Stars. Hell no. I'm not getting none of those bargain people off. I'm going to tell you something about that Johnston kid that he just mentioned from TCU. That's the best receiver in this draft, and it's not close.
Yeah.
What's crazy is a lot of people, Pat, because we all know a lot of people don't have brains. They like football. They don't know football. They're not going to see him as the number 1. You know why? A lot of people don't watch TCU play. They looking at the sexy teams, Ohio State, LSU, all the teams that get that media coverage. TCU only gets the games that when they play against Power 5 teams.
Yep.
So you don't get the chance to see him like that.
I would absolutely jump through the roof if we got that dude here. Do you know how much of a monster that dude?
Yeah, and he like 6'4", 210.
Yo,
that man is 6'4", 225. He will run a sub 4.4.
205.
Catches everything.
That's
He can route run with he's Michael Thomas with speed.
He's Julio.
That's saying a lot. Michael Thomas
Jones. He's Julio Thomas Jones.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not. He has Julio traits, but I'm telling you,
right.
You know how Michael Thomas can run those slant routes like he's a little guy? He does that and can run every route on the board. You want to know who my second best receiver is? You're going to think I'm crazy, but it's a guy from SMU, Rashee Rice.
I like him.
He would be a monster in this system. I
like him a lot.
I didn't know the dude was 6'3".
Yeah, he's a tall dude. If somebody can, it ain't gonna come to my mind right now. Is his name Wyatt? Is that the kid from Tennessee?
Yeah,
Tennessee.
YFT.
Woo!
That
He's
boy,
he's gonna be a guy that rise up draft. Well, you know what he fit best in a system like the Bills. He's like a Gabe Davis to me.
Yo, he's a big kid though. I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah, he's like 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big kid. I did not know he was that big.
So
Hey,
saying
I'll check in with y'all later.
All right, Stas. Thank you for tuning in, bro.
Stas, salute, my guy.
So
yeah, but I didn't know he was that big.
Here's why I think Joe's argument wins out. You see how we're talking about all these monster receivers that's coming out in the draft? Somebody like Rashid Rice can actually slip to the bottom of the second round, and I think he's the second best receiver in this draft because he comes from SMU. Tommy for Tommy, thank you for tuning in. He's one of the ones that say just stand pat, move forward with the team because this is supposed to be a rebuilding year. You make a move like that, Chosen, to go get a Jerry Jeudy or somebody like that if you believe you can make a deep run in the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. Give me your honest opinion right now. The way Daniel Jones is playing, do you truly believe this year, I'm not saying future years, this year we can go win a Super Bowl this year?
See, I don't want to subscribe to that right this very minute because I want to see these division games.
Yep.
Yeah. These division games are going to tell us something different about him because when you get in them, you're in a different mindset. Look how he played against the Cowboys. Look how he played against them. He didn't play bad. He sold all out to beat that team by himself and could not do it. He was the best player on the field, bar none, that night. And we all looked around and said to ourselves, this is the first time that I'm saying to myself that Daniel Jones needed help from just somebody for the first time in his career. Not somebody needed to help him. He needed help from somebody. He damn near beat that team by himself, man.
Hey, thank you, Parl, for subscribing. Appreciate it, bro. I think that's why Joe's argument went out. I'm gonna let Coach speak on this real quick. Appreciate you, Coach, for always being here for me.
What up, Coach?
Always.
Oh Lord, what if they just stand pat and say, "Give us a second rounder for Jerry Jeudy," or just even that third rounder?
Third
because
rounder.
There's some receivers in this draft, like you said, that Wyatt guy will probably be in the third round, and I think he would be dynamite in our system. We will have to use him differently.
But my thing is 1.1 million is Darius Slayton is making more than Jerry Jeudy.
Right.
Actually, when he
and he may not even be here next year.
Slayton's not making more than Jeudy. He was restructured.
Yeah, he only making 900,000.
Yeah, he was restructured. Yeah, he was a pay cut.
I mean 1.1 to 900,000.
I got you.
Right. That's taxes in some paychecks for them. But you get a Jerry Jeudy. I definitely don't believe. This is just me. I don't like it, but it's honest reality because that's what we do. I don't think Darius Slayton is going to be on this team next year anyway.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And so therefore, getting a Jerry Jeudy locks you in with a second number, a wide receiver number 2. Definitely, we're not going to see Sterling come back. He's going to make an attempt, but I look at his career is coming down to the Victor Cruz effect, where we let him back on the field because we love him, but his body won't allow him to do what he wants to do. Just being honest. There's too many lower body injuries. Let's be honest.
You talking about Tony?
No, Sterling. Shepard.
Oh, Sterling. I think Sterling's done, man.
I think he is too, but we're going to let him back on the field because of who he is. We love him. But he'll retire the same way Victor Cruz did. He'll say to himself, you know what? I just wanted to give it all I got one last time and go out in my blaze of glory. Okay, New York. Okay. I just had to say that. I'm sorry. I just saw the final score for the Knicks. All right now.
134, 131, they won.
Yeah, RJ Barrett. Act like you know.
Yo.
So I think that would be the legit thing to do. Think about it, fellas. He's gonna come cheap.
Well,
We don't got to worry about him. We'll have him for 2 years, right? Until we have to do what we need to do. We go in the draft, get one of them guys in the second or third round, either how we do it, and it's an even kill trade. We're getting a guy for a third rounder if that's possible. We pick up a guy again in the second round. We got Jerry Jeudy, a true number one, Wandale Robinson, whatever Tony got in the tank. Kenny Galladay's gone. We're going to have that money to recoup, pay whoever we need, and move forward. That's my
all
thought.
right. I want to ask Coach because he's a true coach, a real like literally does this for real. I posed this question earlier. I don't know if you were looking earlier about we go 7-1 into the bye week and the receivers underperform again, and it's on the table that hey we could get Jerry Jeudy for a third round pick. Do you pull the trigger or do you stand pat and be like, hey, look, Galladay and Tony can come back and help us out?
Okay, based on that scenario, of course, I'm going to do a third rounder, but I'm going to look into a few other scenarios before that. Remember, we've had that discussion about that Keyshawn brought up about T. Higgins. T. Higgins to me is the number one.
Yeah,
And
he's
that's
number
who
one,
Yes.
clear cut.
that's who I'm looking at first
Yes.
to see based on Cincinnati's scenario, because they're going to have to pay him, and you already have Burrow, Chase, and a whole bunch of other players, so you might not be able to give him the money. And right now, T. Higgins' salary, because we're talking about Judy being at 1-1, uh, Higgins is at 1-3, 1-4. Let's say 1-4. And all these scenarios, I don't even look at them at that full rate because they're going to be prorated. So it's actually going to be less because we're in cap hell right now. So that's the first thing I look at. I look at the cap. So what do they fit under? So next is what type of receiver are they? Now, if there's no sniffing, I mean, if you're sniffing and you really get the feel since he isn't going to do it, then yeah, you come back to Judy. If you can give up that third, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to do that right now. And just for I'm sorry, the chosen one. I'm sorry, this is my first time speaking to you. You said the receiver you're talking about Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
He's actually
Absolutely.
he's
What's
actually
going on,
6 foot.
Jeffy?
He's actually
Good.
6 foot. It's Cedric Tillman who's actually 6'3".
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I just wanted to clarify that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Hyatt is good. He's good. He definitely is a monster. What he did to Alabama is it just opened my eyes so much more. So, but getting back to this, if I can get Judy for a third, yeah, I'm doing that. I'd be a fool not to do that.
So
Last point is Daniel's Super Bowl quarterback to lead us to the Super Bowl? Yeah, anything's possible. But as I said last night, Jeff, you can attest, playoffs is another level, and Daniel hasn't been there, and a lot of these guys haven't been there. So it is an eye opener. I don't care how much talent you have, the pressure intensifies tenfold. And a lot of guys crack under that pressure, and we don't know. They could have a phenomenal record, they could have a best record in the NFC, in the whole NFL, but that pressure intensifies. So, is Daniel Jones ready to lead us to the Super Bowl? I'm going to be honest. I want the kid to. I hope I'm wrong in what I'm feeling, but right now, I have to pull back the reins. Can he get us to the playoffs? Yes. Can he win us maybe the first round? Yes. To the Super Bowl? That's a lot. That's me. That's a lot.
Can I jump in right after that, Coach? And then
Sure,
first
go
of
ahead.
all,
I'm done. I'm
it's a
done. I'm
pleasure
done.
to meet you. I didn't get a chance to, Pat. I promised him I'd pull up and come through. I saw he was doing
Mhm.
something. I wanted to show love because he always comes through to the shakedown, and you guys are more than welcome to come
Thank you.
along as well, man. Because I love to talk to people that know football. I hate to talk to people that just
Thank
like it.
you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm with you. I'm with you, Coach. and I think I said it a little bit earlier. If not, I want to make sure I make it clear. That's why I breathed on it when he asked me. I said, it's tough because division games show the psyche, the grit grind, the true you. Also, what's upstairs, the cool-minded control you have to be under, the next level you have to take it to within yourself to lead, and also the moxie to get through that. So if he beats, I'm going to say this, Coach, and I want to see if you're going to roll with me, because I'm cooler than the fan. Is Jesus Obama than me? Right?
I like that. I like that. I like that.
So roll with me. If he beats the Eagles twice, I'm thinking in my mind he can do it. I'm thinking he can actually lead us to a Super Bowl. If he beats the Eagles twice, because they just got Robert Quinn. And now I don't know what to say about that. They just had everything that they had. But getting Robert Quinn on top of that?
I got one thing to say about Robert Quinn. Sorry, Coach. I ain't trying to cut you off. I got one thing to say about Robert Quinn, and that's Andrew Thomas. I could care less about what edge rusher you
Twice
get.
a year he gonna
He's
get
not,
his ass locked up.
He's not getting in there.
I'm just saying by him being dealt with, you got 4 other teeth in that comb.
I understand where you're coming from. And Robert Quinn is nice. But I got Andrew Thomas. They're gonna put Quinn on Thomas to keep him occupied. What I'm worried about is Evan Neal coming back, and I think Evan Neal will punish Hassan Reddick. I'm not worried. You can get as many edge rushers as you want. I got Andrew Thomas. I'm good. The thing that I'm going to disagree with you and Coach on this one, I think the boy can. And reason why, one game. That game he played against the Cowboys. That was a playoff game to him. That was a bright lights game. He's never won in prime time, and he was the only one on that field doing anything. So that right there shows me that he has the moxie to go in there and get it done when need be. So let's pretend that the receivers will play half decent that game, and the offensive line is way better than what they played when the third week. I don't think any team is going to get 26 pressures on us in the playoffs. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. If that man played like that with 26 pressures against them, Michael Parsons going crazy, the Dallas Cowboys, they got something to prove. Dexter Lawrence absolutely ate Evan Neal up that game. And do you know we still had a chance that we had the lead in the third quarter in that game?
Yeah.
I think this quarterback is playoff ready from the get-go. I think that dude is tough as nails. And I just don't think he thinks about that. He goes into every game the same way. I don't think he's going to have any type of pressure on him in the playoffs. Daniel Jones is going to go out there and play like Daniel Jones. And if he has what we think that he has, that Eli Moxie, his play might elevate in the playoffs. Because in his mind, okay, I got to do this because this is the playoffs. I got to ball out. And that's a dangerous man when he thinks that way. Look how Eli played in the 2016 playoffs. People said he sucked ass that whole regular season. But he was out there looking like Peyton Manning that 2016. If those receivers would have caught that ball, we might be talking about we had 5 Super Bowls. I think he's that type of quarterback. When the pressure gets thick, he gets better. For some reason,
he got that look in his eye. First of all, you gotta pay attention to his
dudes with those blank looks in their faces.
He's on that. Listen, he got that, and I don't like to refer to nobody because lives was lost. But he got that serial killer spectrum of autism look. And I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, he got a blank face.
I work with those Michael Myers eyes type. Y'all know what I'm going through. I don't gotta go no further. And for some reason, it seems like something is not registering, and not in a bad way. on the emotional spectrum. It's
Right.
something is not there. Yeah, some ain't there.
99-cent super sticker.
Right.
Yeah, I tell you what's not there. Fear.
Right.
That dude doesn't fear
Oh, no.
anything, bro.
He's not scared.
I'm telling you. I think when he goes to the playoffs, it's gonna be even worse for teams in the playoffs. All these comeback wins, he's being battle tested
Yeah.
all year long. He's had to pull it out all year long.
I
He's
got a
been playing
Try to
question.
playoff
express to
games.
people he
I got a
has this
question.
thing that ignites in him when he's down. And I try to express this to people. And coach, I know you're
What's
gonna
up,
love this right
everybody?
here.
What's
What's
up,
going
Lou?
on, Lou?
Lou?
I got one question. Sorry, E, the chosen one. Who the fuck gave Tank Dank a wrench?
Pat did before.
Pat,
Pat did.
yeah,
Pat
nah,
did.
yeah. Come on.
Lord have mercy.
I couldn't answer.
Take
I
that
couldn't
wrench,
answer.
man.
Got
Take
to
that
do
wrench off of
better.
him, man.
Got to
Get him
do
out of here.
better.
I couldn't answer them like
Tank Dank is Tank Dank. Nobody pays him
Yeah.
attention, but
Yeah,
he
we
keeps
This
not
coming
paying him
back.
no mind.
That's the dude E, the chosen one, was just talking about. He on that motherfucking spectrum.
Right.
That we go with the Super Bowl spectrum and ain't been to a playoff in a quarter of a fucking century.
Yeah.
Short bus.
We
short.
don't care about the Cowboys.
What's going on,
here.
Randy?
But I think Daniel Jones is battle tested, man. If we get in the playoffs with Daniel Jones and you give him a receiver that he can count on,
If man, we didn't convince the media the Giants going 11-6. Ain't no if.
I'm talking about if we get a receiver, we're in the
Listen.
playoffs and we get a receiver that he can count on, we're gonna
They
be a
in,
problem.
they in trouble when we get into the motherfucking playoffs with Kadarius Toney, aka Little Hammy, Wandale Robinson.
If Little Hammy turns into
What
that
you say,
receiver that
Hammy?
he can count on, like I said,
All right.
we're gonna be a problem.
But
I'm
listen
telling
to
you.
this. The media posted
11.
they came out and said the Giants are projected to win 11-6 and enter the playoffs with the number 6 seed. I said, I wonder who that smart motherfucker was that said that shit.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, Joel, why did you say that? Joel, why did you say that, huh? The hell, Joel? Why are you stealing Lou's material?
I did not. Some bitch. I get in trouble and it didn't even do it. Oh God, maybe I should do it.
No, but I think, man,
Pat, I
there
get
could
you.
be something
and
special with this team, man.
Pat,
I'm
I
just,
get you. You 1,000% right in that regard, and that's why I said I hope I'm wrong. But now, mind you, not the NFL level, but I've coached championship teams, and I've coached on teams where I thought guys were ready. Seriously, we were the number 1 seed in our league. We were dominating and kicking tail all the way through. Ran through the first couple of rounds in the playoff and get to the chip, and our starting quarterback crapped the bed because he couldn't handle that pressure. So I get where you're going. That's why I said I just have to see that part. Everything else, I'm with DJ. I'm rocking with him. It's just the maturation. That's really what it boils down to. It's just maturation.
Man, Coach Ed is from Missouri. He got to be.
For me, no, I'm from
Yeah.
Jersey.
Everything is show me. He got to be from Missouri. I said we going 11-6. I need to see more.
But that's a coach. That's the coach in me.
DJ's clutch. I need to see more. Barkley's
gotta-
running like 2018 Barkley. I need him to run 2,000 yards. You from Missouri.
What you just said the magic word. I need to see more too. That's also the coach in me.
Nah, I know.
I need to see more. I want
Marcus
more.
Johnson, I need to see more. Catches.
Nah, we good.
Yeah, nah, we good.
He said we
That's
good.
different.
Nah, we
That's
good.
different.
We good.
That's different.
We already know you're stealing, we already know you're stealing,
about, Kev. Come on.
and we don't need you to try to go up to the roof. We straight.
Yeah, so is you, David Seal.
So
I mean, he's the best that we got right now at the number 2 position, to be honest with you.
And that is because of our quarterback.
Yeah.
And our running back.
That's because of Daniel Jones.
And our running back, too. That's the
Coach,
quarterback and the
Yes,
quarterback.
sir.
Coach, hold
Yes,
me
sir.
down real quick. Take a quick smoke break, and I'll be
I
right
got
back,
you. I
fellas.
got you, Pat.
Oh, okay, go ahead. We got it.
Yo,
How's
any
everybody
Knicks
doing
fans in
tonight?
any Knicks fans in the building, or I'm
Of
the wrong?
course.
Yeah,
No,
no,
of
I'm a
course.
Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan
Okay,
Diehard
too.
Knicks fan.
okay,
Did they
because
win?
Hey,
yeah,
Yeah.
real quick,
that young man is starting to adapt and let people know I'm in
real
this
quick.
building
I'm
in
gonna call
RJ
it a
Barrett.
night.
All
I'm
right,
just
All right,
Joe.
Joe.
to
Hey,
kill out. Yeah. Okay.
you need to
It's it's been a long day.
Okay.
I got another long day tomorrow, but then it's football.
yeah,
Yeah.
We got that
Jordan
game
started
tomorrow.
getting
So
poontang.
yeah, I'll not. Yeah, maybe.
All right,
But
Joe.
so until
You know what
then,
they
Shit.
say.
All right, Joe. See you.
You
Have a
know,
All right,
good
keep a
night,
Joe.
man
man.
from his destiny. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Right.
brother.
the hell with the mountains. Give me the bush. Ah.
All right.
Oh,
Gotta
Jeff,
love Joe. He give you one
Jeff,
every stream.
Jeff, let me just say, Jeff, I'm sorry, bro. And I just saw they said something about Kyrie and Ben Simmons, so I don't even know what the hell's happening.
don't even get me
Uh-oh.
started because I'll go on like a 20-minute rant about that.
I seen,
Steve
I
Go
seen,
Nash.
I
ahead,
seen,
Steve
Pat. We're
yeah,
having
I
Nash.
a
seen
smoke
Steve
break.
Nash.
Steve Nash actually showed emotion tonight because Giannis
Yeah, I
Antetokounmpo
heard.
was throwing elbows the entire game, including throwing Patty Mills, and they didn't call a foul on it. And Steve Nash had to literally be restrained by 4 people, and he got thrown out of the game. But they couldn't shoot. Nobody on this team could score points. The only guys that actually got points in the game was pretty much Durant and Irving and Royce
Wait a
O'Neal in the first
second.
half.
Wait a
They
second.
sucked in the
Jeff.
second half.
Jeff,
What?
did you just say Steve Nash got thrown out the game?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got kicked
he got
out.
Yeah,
ejected.
he did. He did
Got
get
Hmm.
two
thrown out
T's
the
and got
game. He
ejected
got
because
ejected.
Giannis threw Patty Mills on the
How
floor
in
and they
the
didn't call it.
fuck is Steve Nash still playing basketball?
No, he's a
No, he's
coach. He's a
No,
coaching.
he's the
coach.
coach.
Oh,
He's the
I was about
coach.
to
Yeah.
say.
No, he's the head
You
He's
coach.
the head coach.
Sadly, yeah,
He
sadly
shouldn't
he's our
be,
head
but
coach.
yeah, he shouldn't be. But yeah,
Can we take Tom Thibodeau from you guys for like a couple of games, please?
No, listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. You can have Tom Thibodeau for the rest of
Mm,
your life.
mm,
I'll take him.
Okay?
It's better than
Yeah,
Steve
you
Nash.
can let me tell you something.
yeah. You don't
mm,
want.
Tom Thibodeau
mm.
is a
Mm-hmm.
hard-nosed, hard-working, regular season coach. He is
Mm-hmm.
not a guy who's going to lead these millennials past
These young
anything
guys.
because of who he is. And it has nothing to do with Tom Thibodeau. It has to do with the same situation that the New York Football Giants and John Mara has in his camp. James Dolan is the John Mara of the
Oh
NBA.
gosh.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I hate
And
you.
the reason being is
yeah.
because of these nepotistic hires. You don't want to get new blood in the building because you still want to be considered the smartest man in the room.
Which is not.
And he does not get the best out of people because he does not know how to deal with people. He is the only man that I've ever
He's
seen
using
that have not brought back the greatest Knicks players to be within the organization to lead. And it kills me.
stream.
It kills me. It's no way
Facts.
in hell Mark Jackson should not have been a head coach immediately.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts. Truth. 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 Go ahead.
He's
What
like
I'm
the
gonna
was
Will
stop
it?
right
Pods.
there because the knife might come out and we might get crazy tonight.
He's
We're
like
having
the
a
Will
good time.
Pods were with the Mets.
Okay. 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 Now we were talking about receivers before, so
Right.
and
Let's get back to that.
did y'all
Yeah.
talk about Quentin Johnson?
Either chosen one. Sorry, coach.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You happen to be Fisk Vegas in disguise.
Fist
Nah,
Vegas.
bro.
Oh.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
Harlem and Bronx born all New York City all day, bro.
Okay.
I
Okay. I'll
played
be
football.
X2.
I played wide receiver at the University of Lafayette in Eastern Pennsylvania, man. And two guard on the basketball court. 3-sport athlete, 2-sport defense.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Lafayette, the Leopards.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
coached somebody who played at Lehigh, so I
Okay.
know. Like I
Yeah,
said, I'm Jersey, so I know about it.
I'm a lot older than I look, so 1996,
Nah, it's just
1997 with it.
when you said
Okay.
the knife might come out, you sounded like Fisk for a second. I was like, is this Fisk in disguise?
Nah,
Good old
it,
Chris
it,
Vegas.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
I've actually had back and
Shout out
forth
to
banter
Vegas.
with that guy, man. Not in a negative way, but he was somebody that I got hold of in the spaces at one time, and I just wanted to test his football acumen, just because that's just what we do,
Right,
out of
right.
fun. And it was a blessed back and forth. You know what I mean? So shout outs to that dude for even giving
Yeah,
me the
man.
time. You know what I'm saying? And it was a respect. It was a mutual respect walking away, and
Well,
that's the
that's
best way to
cool.
put it. You
That's
know.
cool.
okay. So I asked about. Did y'all talk about Quentin Johnson from TCU?
Absolutely. I brought him up immediately, coach.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's one of the guys that I've been looking at. I've been peeping him for what 2 years now.
Hmm.
I mean, I peeped him, and Jeff will tell you. I talked about Hendon Hooker. I've been following Hendon Hooker for years.
Been
I
talking about him
understand
for
he's
months.
older. Yeah, no, but I'm saying I've been following him for years. So
Yeah.
I know when it comes to Tennessee. I've been following, and I see those receivers. That's my point.
Yep.
So I do understand the receivers that are coming out. This draft coming out is loaded with receivers, quarterbacks, and I mean I haven't broken down the DBs, but I think it's some pretty high end DBs. I mean I'm high on Joey Porter Jr. I mean even though he's from Penn State, oh gosh, but that's a DB. He's serious. So, but getting back to the receivers, um, have you checked out the receiver from Wake Forest? What's his name? Let me look him up again. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? From Wake Forest. Wake Forest. A.T. Perry. Has anybody looked him up?
No,
Let me
I
make
have not.
sure.
But
Let
I've
me
been
make
looking
sure.
up this 11-6 prediction, and I think I'm damn near spot on, bro.
15-2, Lou. 15-2.
I'm telling you, bro. 11-6, bro. I even got the
13 and
media.
4.
I even
11
got
and
the
6.
national
11 and
media
6
saying,
ain't good enough. When you're 1 6 and 1,
"Listen,
11 and 6 ain't good enough. I want
listen,
higher. I
listen.
want higher. I'm greedy
When your
now. I'm greedy.
previous, well, you
Yeah, I
can't
get
get
you.
greedy
I
because
get you.
that's how you set yourself up for failure, sir. You still have to remember that we were 4-13 last year. We have deficiencies at linebacker. We have deficiency at left guard, center, and damn sure have
Mhm.
deficiencies at wide receiver. Now, while we're making it
Wow, we have the
tough,
great Kenny Galladay coming back.
tough, gritty games, and we're
Mm,
pulling
mm,
out the
mm.
win in the last second, yes. But once you get into the playoff push, you can't have that many deficiencies and expect to win.
Of
So
Mhm.
course.
you got Philly and Dallas who are going to be playing for a chance to get into the playoffs, right? So that means we have to beat those guys to get in, or we have to beat every other game outside of our division. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Minnesota's going to be a tough one, too, because they're off to a good start.
but when you got the national media who was shitting on us 3 weeks ago, now saying we can go 11-6, which is something I said
Mhm.
six,
Mhm.
7 months ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, we know
Yo,
that
you
the
know
media
what?
steal a lot of
I'm
things from
proud to
us.
have somebody have my prediction and be able to express why.
Mhm.
And it feels good because let me tell you, they thought I was bugging. My whole crew. Oh, here goes Captain Optimistic. You drinking the blue Kool-Aid. I said, let me tell you why we may go 11-6, no less than 10-7 when the schedule was released. I don't think that you understand the coaches, and coaches going to
Mhm.
appreciate this.
Mhm.
I don't think you understand the coaches that we have just brought in. Oh, what you mean by that, E? Simple, if you let me explain. Coaches don't come into games thinking, well, we're going to just do the best that we can.
No,
Coaches go into games
to win.
thinking, who do you think that is across the field? I
Mhm.
don't give a damn. You don't give a damn. Oh, that's his mother in the stance? She
So
should be as
what?
sad as any mother should be going home today.
Yep.
His father, he's going to be mad he wore his jersey. It's a nice touch, but that's the hurt section right there. Let
You
me
think
point
we
to that.
lying? Just ask
Yo,
Yaqub Talib.
and think about it, gentlemen. Our coaching staff has come from winning the
Mm-hmm.
last 5 to 7 years in the NFL at the top of the food chain. You have Wink Martindale, who has that ring on that pinky finger or wherever he wants to wear it, on them big sausage fingers that he got, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got
Mm-hmm.
you got Mike Kafka, who has been the right arm and left arm of Doug Peterson and Andy Reid. Okay. You got Brian Dable, who just was in the greatest game possible between two quarterbacks in the most explosive, high-scoring playoff game in NFL history, if you in modern day NFL history. I don't want to, talk about anything different than that. You have Joe Shane, who has built the analytical department in Buffalo, coming from a goddamn intern. What did you think they were going to come to New York to want to do? When they accepted the position, they said, we're coming here to win. Everybody thought rebuild. That shit never crossed my mind. Reload. Retool. Rebuild. You don't rebuild with dudes with those type of minds. They get the best out of guys that have lesser talent. They get the greatness out of guys that have good talent, and they make great players elite. That's why most of Wink Martindale's defensive players are getting second contracts in this league.
True.
So my mindset was never rebuild. Dudes like that don't rebuild. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. And coach, I know you know what I'm getting into. A guy may
Yeah.
not be D1 talent, but you damn sure will make him the best
Mm-hmm.
D2 dude at the end of the bench.
Exactly. I mean, it's instilling a level of confidence, borderline arrogance. And I said it, Jeff. I said it last night. I mean, I'm that when it comes to my coaching. Like, I know everyone says I'm humble, but when it comes to my coaching, when I'm out there on the field, I'm the most confident and most arrogant. There's no one. I don't care if it's Bill Belichick out there coaching against me. I'm taking you down. And that's what you have to instill, and that's what they're bringing to the table. And that's why I say, like with Daniel Jones, I get it. I understand. Yes. Do I hope that they're instilling that in there? I like you said, you see that look in there. That's beautiful. That's what we want. That killer instinct. Yes, these coaches are the ones to teach that and instill it, and the players are buying in. So, and it's growing. The only facet within this organization, truthfully, that has to buy in is the fan base, because we're so fragmented. And instead of all being together and seeing it and understanding it, and fully buying in also, we have a level of skepticism, because we're gunshot, per se. They're tired of getting their hearts broken. But as an athlete, as a coach, you're out there, you're gonna get your heart broken every damn play. Sorry, you just got to get up, shake it off, and move on to the next play.
That is very true, and I believe that Brian Dable has instilled that in this team.
Hmm.
Like, look how many injuries we've had, and this team still goes out there and play. It is like, did anybody even notice Evan Neal got hurt after he went out the game? Did anybody even notice
Absolutely.
the offensive line get bad?
Hmm.
Absolutely, because I let it be known when Tyree Phillips came in, I said, let me tell you how serviceable this guy is. Could we use him for a whole season and think we'll have a top right tackle? No.
No.
But the 3 games to 4 games that he will be serviceable, he will give you everything his mother asked him for on Christmas.
Right, right,
Hmm.
straight up. Like, we got no name people coming out there contributing with this coach. I kept trying to tell everybody that coaching matters a hell of a lot when it comes to football. A good coach can turn a bum ass player into a very good player because he knows what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
That he might have been a bum on the other team because that coach didn't know what to do with him. He had him playing in positions and making him run routes that he's not comfortable with.
You know
Big
what I want to
mistake.
say to you, Pat, and everybody here, and this is my final thought process, because I can't express it to, like I said, people that like football. I want to express it to people that know football. You
Mm-hmm.
know what bothers me, and I don't bring it up, and I'm going to confess to Pat. It hurts my heart that Daniel Jones has been a victim of circumstance in an abusive relationship and should be
Right.
wearing domestic violence shades for the
Mm.
last 2 years on a Monday.
Mm.
The fact that John Mara openly admitted doing the wrong thing took that from him, but not from the minds of fans. If I could give a message to every Giants fan that does not like Daniel Jones, this is what I'd say. Take away 2 years and allow his rookie season and this season to actually be seen by you. And tell me the kind of player that you think you actually have instead of the one that was abused for 2 years and you were able to join in on that abuse.
Right. See, fans only want to bring up the 2 years that he had with Joe Judge, but
Hmm.
they poo poo the rookie season. They don't really count that, and then now they're poo pooing this season.
But
You
see,
got to
that's be.
think this is two totally different dudes. My bad, coach, but
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
this
Go
is
ahead. Finish.
this is two totally different dudes that you see. Daniel Jones before the Joe Judge years was a different quarterback before Joe Judge got there, and now you see him with Brian Daboll. He's a different quarterback. That should tell you something.
That goes to
That
the
should tell
argument
you
that we've
something,
been saying. It's all about coaching. I mean,
right?
he wasn't coached for two
Hey
years.
Pat, you know what's
Lou,
funny?
go ahead, Lou.
Either chosen one just said that when the roster came out, he had the Giants going 11-6, no less than 10-7. Now I don't know if you've been watching us or not, but that's exactly what me and Pat said. Pat said 10-7. I said 11-6. When the schedule was released,
Mm-hmm.
we went live and picked the games on the live stream.
Right. And we have a whole 3 hour schedule release video.
We
And
did too.
they
That's
they
funny.
they they, they yo they going at me, bro.
No,
Oh, here
they've
you
been going
go
at me all year.
with the blue
You
Kool-Aid, you
optimistic,
know,
yeah.
Mr. Optimistic. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, all right,
They
training day.
looking real stupid now,
You
ain't they?
remember how he did it in training day? All right,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
My nigga.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jake. You remember when he called him
Right.
Jake?
Right.
Right. All right. And now look, and
But
this
You
dude,
remember
yeah,
let
the
me tell
fool in
you
the
something,
wheelchair
man.
earlier? How you
Yeah.
think he got
right.
that way?
How do you think you got there?
I'm
Mm-hmm.
surgical with this motherfucker,
Yeah.
Jake.
I
This
see you.
this dude and coach, again, I like to refer to you because these are things that I talked about with my coach.
Mm-hmm.
He said to me, E, your success is going to breed hate.
Yep.
I never understood what that meant because I was too
Mm-hmm.
on my level wasn't that high.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones' success is breeding hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Orlovsky can't get out his own damn way. He's still hating on him, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
He
who
was
that dude is with the big ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
Orlovsky, Dan
Oh
Orlovsky.
no! It's
Y'all know who I'm
Nick
talking about?
Wright.
It's a dude
Nick
with big
Wright.
ears.
Is it
Oh
Nick
God.
Wright?
Nah, it's not Nick Wright.
No,
He's on the
on
get up. The
ESPN,
dude with the big ears. Yo,
Dan
his ears
Orlovsky.
are the craziest and
Yes,
weirdest
they
thing.
are. If you look at Orlovsky, he has some humongous ears. He does,
Yeah,
Oh,
and he
okay.
always makes those
yeah, that's
stupid, dumb
yeah.
faces along
So
with it.
What's going
basically,
on,
But they
AK?
pay.
the hate that
His
he
trainer.
has is wonderful. I love it
Mm-hmm.
because every week he says something, right? Well, if you look at this game, he made some throws that could have possibly been interceptions. And then I look around the league and I say, what quarterback doesn't make
Listen,
almost interception throws?
exactly.
So while we keep on nitpicking, but the one thing that they keep forgetting is he's making throws to people that you wouldn't put in a game.
And
If
that's why I love Rex Ryan was on there today. And Rex Ryan was like, bro, do you see who he's throwing to? He's
Right.
Exactly.
6'1". He
But take this even further. Like we said that, elite quarterbacks make their receivers that much better. Well, he's making below average receivers marginally, not even average, marginally good receivers. So that speaks to what he is doing as a quarterback. He doesn't have talent around him other than Saquon Barkley and Daniel Bellinger. We're getting Robinson back, so we're going to see. But other than that, realistically, I mean, no receivers over 200 yards in receptions
Right. No
by
receiver over 200
week
yards.
seven. Week seven in the NFL season, no, and we're in a passing league, right? We're
Right.
supposedly in a passing league. The rules of the game is geared towards the offense. I mean, how many bobbled or drop passes did he have yet this past weekend?
7.
No, I'm including bobble passes. That touchdown pass to Darius Slayton was also a
Oh
bobble
yeah, that
pass.
was a bobble. If you want
So,
to
and
count
that's my
bobble
point.
passes, like 12.
You can tell you know exactly what I'm talking about being a receiver. Because if it's bobbled, that means the receiver's not fully doing his job in terms of looking the ball into his hands and then
Hmm.
into the 5 point pocket. So that's where I say, look, these guys are really not helping him.
Hey, you just took me back. You just took me back when you said that right there. Because as a DB, we're taught to
Hmm.
disrupt that.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. These receivers will make it easy if I'm on a defensive
You
coach.
break his concentration, you break his eyesight on the ball, you pull his hands away if you can get away with it. Like,
You also shoot your hands right between his hands because
Hmm.
yeah,
once it bobbles, it's easy to knock it away as opposed to trying to rip it away. Because that's the
once
first
he's
thing
already
that
got a grip. Yep.
no, once he has the grip, that's a different story.
No,
But
no,
what I'm
that's why I
saying
said it's harder to knock it away
oh
once
yeah,
he's
yeah,
already got a grip on it.
exactly. So when you got that bobble, it's easy to knock that ball out. So, and that's what the receivers are not doing in terms of securing the ball as soon as it hits your hands. So and that's what is frustrating as a coach when I see that what this kid could have had way more yards. He could have had way more yards. Whatever, 50 to 100 extra yards.
If you count the yardage on them 7 drops, because hell,
He
they,
would have had
if
300
Robinson,
yards.
yeah, if Robinson caught that screen pass, who knows where that play was going? Because I saw the
Exactly.
blocking on that play. He could have picked up some yardage on that play, and then a touchdown was dropped. Marcus Robinson dropped another 19-yard pass. Slayton dropped a 20-yard pass, and then another
Hmm.
9-yard pass.
can I
It was
say
bad
something to
out
you
there.
guys that nobody brings up?
Yes, sir.
How many of his plus 20-yard plays have been called back for penalties?
Right,
Almost all of them.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, you're
Almost
right
all of
about
them.
that. You're right
right.
about that.
With the
Early
exception of
in,
the few that Sterling Shepard made, almost all of them.
yep.
I remember him stepping up in a beautiful wedge in the pocket and shifting over, and a play that I've never seen him make before. He ran 3 steps, looked where the line of scrimmage was at, and lobbed it over the safety and DB for Kadarius Toney in his breadbasket. He turned around and ran another 11 yards. It was a 32-yard play, called back for
Offensive pass interference.
offensive pass interference.
He hit Galladay on a 25-yard play against Dallas.
That's
Offensive
it.
pass interference.
That's the
He hit
next.
Galladay on a 3rd and 12
Mhm.
on a curl comeback route. It hit him in the numbers and bounced off his stomach and went into the floor.
Yep.
The nearest wide receiver off that turn alone wouldn't have been 5 to 7 yards around him.
Yep.
Mhm. I mean, and that's what and the average fan doesn't understand that. They don't see that. I mean, Jeff will tell you. I mean, Pat has heard me say it. To me, it's all about the fantasy football. It's what's taken
Mm-hmm.
away from truly appreciating the game. They just want the fantasy points and all this and that. And I mean, I understand it if you play it. I'm not begrudging you, but it's also taken away from the true appreciation of the game and what goes into, you know, the play and understanding these guys and their craft. So
It's really not just, it's just you not wanting to think for yourself. That's all. Because I
hey,
play fantasy football and I understand good football when I see it. I definitely understand good football when I see it. Just
but
because
that
Daniel Jones is not throwing 250 yards and 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns a game doesn't mean he's not playing good.
exactly, and
I
that's where.
wanted to ask you guys a question after you, of course, Coach.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm good. I'm good.
All right. My question is this: are you guys as excited as I am to see this hungry ass team in Seattle at home on the road
Of
that
course.
we about to go to? See, a lot of people ain't understanding where I'm coming from with this big bag. I am more excited to see this game than any other game in the season
Yeah, me too.
because games like this let you know exactly who you are,
And where
exactly what's
you are.
deficient, and where you are.
Yep.
Exactly. When you come out of a game like this, game 8, and you say, I'm sorry, game 7, and
No,
you
it's game
see
8. It's
game
game
8,
8.
Hmm.
game 8, and you 6-1, and you're going to another coast where the time is different, your preparation has to be different.
And
You
there's a
have
good
to get
coach you're
in
facing.
line with the time. It don't matter. You got to get in line with that because your sleep pattern is broken from travel to the time that you get in. First thing a coach tell you is, listen, keep your feet together, get your stomach right, don't eat nothing too heavy, make sure you light. We got this morning job. Feel me? Let's get it
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
You have to make sure your body is right. Your mind is right. This is a psychological game for us, man. This ain't going to be as physical as people think. This is going to be mental. We get through this, that's going to bring dudes through a different mental situation. And it's going to fortify a lot of thoughts that a lot of people had on this team. You think we high now, we going to have the we win in Seattle.
Well, listen, just think about that. We went through that in London against Green Bay.
Hmm.
You're playing Aaron Rodgers. You've been on a long flight, short week, different time zone. We already went through that against an even better quarterback. So I think that moment already happened. And I think that this is just going to restamp it, like recertify that, yeah, we ready, we can go.
But I think just like how we are a team that's playing with a lot of bona fide nobodies, the same thing for Seattle.
Yeah, because they got Pete
Geno
Carroll.
Smith.
Pete Carroll getting the
Yep.
best out of them guys over there.
Right. And look at Geno Smith. 2 years ago, we didn't believe this dude would still be in the NFL at this point.
Hmm.
I still don't
True.
like him.
Yeah, I don't
I'd
have
like
to like
I'd like for another lineman to break his jaw again, preferably one of ours
right.
on the
I'm
field.
hoping I'm hoping the Geno Smith we all know shows up,
I'm
Which
gonna
which is
is
tell
an
you why.
Eli
I'm gonna
Manning's
tell.
overrated.
streak.
I'm
He
gonna
was
Yeah.
tell you
part of
why.
ruining Eli Manning's streak. I will forever dislike him.
You know that was Ben McAdoo's
I
fault.
know,
That
but
was
That
he
mean
was
so
involved
bad.
in it. I hate them both.
he could have
Yeah,
said
that was.
no.
Right. He could have been like, nah,
No,
coach,
you
you can't do
can't.
that.
Gee, that's not
I
You
fair.
know,
can't
That's
I
say
not
know,
I
that.
fair.
know,
I know, I
bro.
know,
I'm
I know.
just trying to appease my brother.
Justifying. I know. I know.
But I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why this game is important for the Giants. Because if they go to the 12th man and they win this game, they're gonna stamp themselves as being real, not for the media, but for themselves. I know they already believe in this coach and believe what this coach is doing for them, but they go to that 12th man and they go out there and beat a hot Seahawks team right now that everybody's talking about, that everybody's saying that should beat us. And they go there and beat those guys. I think they're going to be on cloud nine for the rest of the season.
And
Only
come
thing
out
they have,
healthy, man. Come
right?
out healthy. Please.
I
Okay,
don't think.
Please.
so
I don't, go ahead,
so
Lou.
what do you think happens if we go over there and lose?
It just depends on how we lose. If we get
Right.
blew out, there may be some questions. Everybody might start questioning. themselves because the media is gonna eat that up. We go over the
But if we
Seahawks,
go
get
over
blew
there and
out.
lose by like 1 or 3 in a tight,
No, I'm gonna
hard
tell you
Yeah,
fought
what
game,
I'm gonna tell you what the narrative is gonna be, gentlemen. That we try to tell y'all the way that the New York Giants was winning was not sustainable.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which way were we winning that was non-sustainable? Because we won differently every time we came back and won.
Right.
Wasn't the
Well,
same type of comeback win. Totally different plays, totally different games, totally different opponent game plan for. First time Mike Kafka came out having Daniel Jones spin it. Saquon Barkley rushed the ball 2 times in that touchdown drive in the first quarter. He made that boy throw the ball around the field purposely.
yeah, to get people to back off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he might have to do it this game. Well, that rush defense for Seattle is pretty bad. I'm testing the ground first with
I'm
Seattle.
gonna tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking to beat up their offensive line. I'm looking for Wink Martindale to finally say, you know what, I got the trust in Fabian Monroe and Aaron Robinson enough at this point with McKinney and Belton playing Joker hybrid, right? London Collins is still not in game shape and game speed yet. I'm not letting that little fake tackle at the one gang tackle get me nowhere hype at all. He has to show me he's ready to actually make open
oh,
field
we in
tackles
Missouri
and get
again.
himself asserted. He's not there yet. But I'm looking for Wink Martindale to act like he understands that
Dial
his
up the blitz.
cornerbacks are playing a serious on a serious level
Dial up
and
the
get
blitz and
Geno
pressure
Smith.
Geno because
That's
Geno
a fact.
clams up under pressure.
Put
We
put
did
a
a film review
cylinder
about that yesterday,
around him.
Big Pet.
The
Mm-hmm.
biggest concern before you even get to that is going to be Walker, their running back.
Yep.
I mean,
We
because
gotta we gotta
he's
seal the
good for
edges.
exactly. He's good at getting to the outside. So if they can run, it's going to set up their play action, which
What's
is going
going
to
on, no Mets?
it's going to take away from sending the full out blitz to smack Geno around. Because yes, if you could smack Geno around, he's putting that ball up in harm's way. But
Mm-hmm.
if that
Coach,
play action,
I got a serious question for you.
yes sir.
Because I do a lot of game tape watching. Pat to tell you
Hmm.
guys, I
Hmm.
do a lot of film breakdown, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It was this play called Wham that
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
Jaguars ran against us. It's
Hmm.
a pin and pull play. I
Hmm.
noticed that we are absolutely susceptible to that play
Hmm.
because before the Jaguars did it, we faced it against the Ravens with Kenyon Drake on the right hand side for the 30-yard touchdown.
Hmm.
Now, it was the play that they ran it twice against us on the left hand side, where the tight end seals the edge, the left
Hmm.
guard pins inside, and the
Hmm.
safety's pinned by a wide receiver on the left hand side, 5 yards down the field. So Etienne has enough speed to break to the inside,
Exactly.
but then hit the outside. I would like to know what system do you think, knowing how Wink Martindale actually does play defense now with his exotic blitz packages, stunts and pulls. How do you stop a pin and pull offense? What kind of defensive set do you use against that?
The first thing is the down and distance. That's the first thing they'll Pat will tell you. I always talk down and distance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can. Uh, part of me
I'm gonna
wants
say
to.
this
Part of
real
me
quick.
wants to go odd slant strong.
Mhm.
Roll out. If you're showing too high, roll the safety down hard on the snap to help take away when that receiver gets into the cornerback and tries to seal him, and then actually that safety can be the force man. I mean, you can also do the a hard slant off of an even front, but
Mhm.
with the because of Wink and his exotics and with the movements,
Right.
it's hard because if I'm just doing a base system, that's really how I'm looking at it. But with his movement, standing up, moving guys, putting some DBs inside inside the line and then bailing them at certain points.
But he's been susceptible the last 3 weeks to this pin and
You
pulling.
No,
you want to know why? You want to know why we're susceptible to
Oh,
that? Man,
I
I
know
can't
why. I
speak.
just don't want to call nobody out. I know why.
First of all, Tate Crowder has to be more aggressive. He stutters too much.
See,
That's
I'm
the
not
main
trying. I'm
reason.
trying.
But
That's
you,
why I said the safety, because I'm not. I get that. It's like that's why I'm saying the safety. The safety has
let's
to
be
come down
real.
hard.
Hey, we've been real this whole season. Why can't we be real now?
No, no, no. What I'm saying
Uh, uh,
is, it's covering him. It's covering him up because yes, you're right.
right,
Because it's like
right.
in that touchdown when Etienne ran that touchdown. He's reading the wrong gap where he's stepping inside. If he stays
And
in
Jalen Smith does the wrong
just
thing too.
exactly. But
And the
if
thing, I'm sorry, coach, but
no,
the
go ahead,
thing
go
that
ahead.
makes it worse with Jalen Smith is he does it faster. You see what I'm saying? He wants to run downhill so bad that when they put him in motion and he has to move sideline to sideline because he has the speed to do it,
Yeah,
he
Mhm.
he's
doesn't do it
overshooting. He's
correctly.
overshooting the
Yeah,
gap.
yeah.
He's
And you
overshooting the
want
gap.
another thing, why they're not bringing the safety down to help those guys out like that? Darnay Holmes.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not. No
yeah.
disrespect. No disrespect. Because listen, these guys is on a level that I dreamed of and
Yeah.
laughed at and wish, right? Because I
Mhm.
respect it. But that ain't it. All right? That ain't it right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I said to everybody, and you remember, Pat, I said I'm gonna be watching 3 things. And the one thing that I mentioned is I said I'm gonna be watching this Christian Kirk Darnay Holmes matchup. Yo, he abused him.
Mm-hmm.
He abused him. Darnay Holmes was 3 steps in back of Christian Kirk on every type of route. Cross, slant, curl, out. I said, yo, somebody has to do something. And that's why McKinney stayed in play in center field. Cause yo, he just dominated that kid that game, man. And if he was more of a dog, he would have they would have went to him more. See, Christian Kirk, a lot of coach know what I'm talking about. When
Mhm.
you got that fire
Mhm.
in you, where you like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, throw me the rock
Yeah.
because there's nothing he can do. I'm putting this on me. He don't got that in him.
Christian
So
So
you
Kirk
you
mean
should have had
like
over
you
100
Plaxico
yards.
did to
shooting him.
Al Harris in the
Yeah,
NFC Championship game? You mean
Yeah.
like
yeah,
that?
fam. Yeah.
Yeah. Christian Kirk ate his lunch. Christian Kirk should have had about 120 yards, 130
and and
yards that
and
game.
and and that right there to me, and I know you guys may not believe this or not, but that's on the wide receiver. Being the former wideout, I go to my QB and let him
Oh
know if
yeah.
you listen, I'm tearing him up. It is nothing that's going to stop me. Throw the ball to me whenever you feel like you want to, and I'm going to make sure I catch the catch. That's a phrase we use as wide receivers. I'm going to catch
Mhm.
the catch. What? Yo, if they would have went to that matchup, coach, we would have lost that game.
But that, and yeah, I mean, now again, that goes into coaching. So, I mean, because, I've heard so many good things and bad things about Peterson, so yes, it's too many times because my brother's the Eagle fan. He always
Tudo.
says, "What's up, Tudo?" He's always said, Peterson, gets in those moments and he misses game winning or um, opportunities like that to, help the team either expand on a lead or close out a win. But you still got me, man. I'm sitting here on that pen and pull, man. I'm
Oh,
just,
it's only way that we're gonna be able to shut that down consistently is if one of those guys do what they're supposed to do and hit that gap the way they're supposed to hit that gap. Every time they do that, those 2 guys are 2 gaps behind.
I also need Leo and Dexter to be honest. I need them to eat a four in the trenches to, to
Mm.
to to prohibit that because if they're both commanding a
You're
double
asking
team,
those two to eat up the whole defensive line. I mean offensive line.
yes,
If they're
yes,
gonna be the ones to stop it.
I
it,
think
it
Justin Ellis will play a good role. A lot of people don't understand that his
no,
technique and
mm-hmm,
his gap integrity is really strong, and he
mm-hmm,
doesn't get caught in the wash. And he actually beats his man off the line, except for the fact that he may be commanding a double team, or he may get a little push over by the left guard or whatever at the same time. But I think Justin Ellis is going to play one of them roles in this game that's underrated and not seen enough. But I think he's going to help out. Jahar Wood is just playing out of his mind right now, and I'm just so excited about that.
Yeah,
John
exactly.
Ward is playing at, and we were missing Zimenez last game too.
Yeah,
Zimenez plays that very well as well, and
right.
Thibodeau's getting pretty good at it too. But you're asking a lot.
We miss Ojulari, man. We miss Ojulari.
Yeah, as far as the pass rush goes, I mean, but the run defense, we're pretty good without Ojulari in the run defense. Now, pass defense,
I'm not gonna lie to you. Right now, in my mind, and you guys could tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm gonna step away after this because I gotta get my punk ass up at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I want to thank you guys for allowing me to be here, Big Pat. Humbly thank you, my brother. God bless you all, and I love you, brothers. So let me say this last. I think Timon Fox is one of our most underrated linebackers, instinctual wise, that we got on this goddamn team. Jay Crowder can't lace his cleat instinct wise. Instinct wise, they ain't even on the same level. That boy, he has instincts, man. He just need to be on the field. Wink need to trust him a little bit more until he do something detrimental.
It's hard for him. Shit, Ellison Smith coming back now. He might be going back to the practice squad.
Who'd you say needs to be on the field?
Timon Fox.
Oh.
Timon Fox brings it every time he comes out there.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. He's a short tackler, instinct, doesn't get caught in the wash, his gap integrity, he's smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has that he has that level of intelligence we want Tay Crowder to have. And that physicality on top of it.
Because Timon Fox is an older linebacker, too, that played old. This is 25-something years old, so he learned that when he was playing at North Carolina rather than another rookie who would be a little younger that would get adjusted to it. So Timon Fox has those instincts that he developed because he was a more experienced linebacker playing more at North Carolina. So he's an older linebacker, so he's able to learn that stuff and develop it over time. So
that's why I said Wink. I just need Wink to trust him a little more. I need him to trust him a little bit more. Be like, yo, you know what? This guy got it. Let's put him in there until he does something to make me feel like he shouldn't be in there.
I wish he could play inside linebacker.
Right. Because Tay Crowder has done enough.
Yeah, so it's...
I want to say shout out to you guys, man. God bless you all. Pat, let me know when the next time things are going on, brother, and I promise to come through humbly and be blessed with you guys' presence, man, and also bring it myself. You guys be good. You the chosen one.
Right, man. It's a pleasure meeting you, bro.
All right, chosen. Yeah, man, that edge room is crowded, bro.
It's crowded. I see if he bumps with Fox down for Ellison Smith, because that's a manner of sometimes getting a little bit because I call it getting too cute for yourself, and you're start to outcoach yourself. So instead of just, trust what you have, Ellison Smith has to come back and he has to earn, because Fox has been here, and I understand he's a draft pick from last year, but we haven't really seen him the full 2 years. So that's me.
Yeah, he's only played in 2 games the whole time.
Yeah, so
then he got hurt. Man, I don't know, man. I know one thing though, Coach. Ellison Smith has a burst off the edge that is pretty elite.
That's why I said it's kind of a double edge, because I know he's good at the pass rush, so
make him a situational pass rusher. Don't put him in for the first and second. Put him on third down.
But who do you bump down?
You don't have to worry about bumping anybody down because Aziz is on IR right now. So you're going to have a good amount of linebackers out there, and O'Shane's injured too. So you don't have to worry about bumping anybody down right now.
Yeah, that's just for this week. He's talking about when everybody gets healthy.
No,
When is
is
Ojulari going to get back? That's the
wait,
thing.
no. If Ellison Smith is back, is he automatically on the roster right now, or he has to show that he's ready to be pushed up? Because if he
No,
has to show,
he has to show. He has to show.
so that means you have to move somebody because there's already 53 sets. So that's what I mean. Somebody has to get bumped down, not just
And
from the
more
not
than
just from
likely it's
the
gonna be
edge.
Roche.
Yeah, Roche will get bumped down because we got 21 days until we can finally he can be activated on the roster. Same thing with Rodarius Williams and Matt Parrott. Parrott's another guy. He's on his way back too.
I thought it was only Parrot. The others were on they weren't on the pup list.
Yeah, but
They
they
were
said they have a
on IR,
21-day
so they brought
IR.
them back.
No, they were on IR. So that once their 4 games is up or whatever it is, if it's six, I think it's 6 at the beginning of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once their
They
six
have to
games
be
are
on the
up,
roster.
yeah, they have to
They
go on the
have to be on the
roster.
roster before the end of this week. They have to
Yeah,
be on the roster, or they miss the season.
Hurt is the one that gets to 21 days because he was on the pup
Mm-hmm. He was
list.
on the pup list. Yeah. But
So
Gates, that's why he was activated and put on the 53 because he had to be
he has
on the
to be on the
roster
roster.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that
before the end of
is,
this
yeah.
week. And it's
They
the
yeah.
also
same
said
thing
they
for
were Lemieux
Ellison
too.
Smith. Yeah, it's the same thing for Ellison Smith and Rodarius Williams. Lemieux is different because they put him on the pup list.
Hmm.
So Lemieux, he has until I think like the Thanksgiving game before he will have to be on the roster before he's been put on IR for the rest of the season. And they both saying there's a chance he might be on IR for the rest of the season.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Tudo, he says Pat Crowder's been allowing so many runs from his size and he don't know how to tackle either. What we gonna do with him, boss? Creating so many holes on the field and also the pocket. Forget about it.
I mean, I
I
know
mean,
that's why I said you gotta have it's I get it. We don't want to see Dex and Leo eat up double teams all the time, but in rundown situations, I gotta ask them to do that because they're Crowder is not consistent. He'll show some flashes one time, but then he's gone and disappeared for most of the other time. So it's I get it. You don't want to always ask your stud DTs to always eat up 4 blocks like that.
Yeah. Him and Holmes
right?
getting
You
killed
don't.
on those screens. They were getting killed on those screen
Mm-hmm.
passes over the middle.
Hmm.
We get destroyed
Hmm.
the whole game because of the screens to Kirk. Ingram actually was killing us in the middle of the field. ETN with some of those screen plays. I mean, we got destroyed in that middle of the field because Crowder just couldn't catch up with those guys. And like you guys said, like E-Rock said, Holmes was struggling the entire time. He was behind Kirk on almost every single play. He couldn't guard him. And I
Hmm.
wonder if Rodarius Williams or Cordero Flock can get healthy if they're going to eventually supplant Darnay Holmes in that slot. One of
I
them's
think
going to
you're
go
gonna have
there.
to, man, because
Yeah,
Because
Darnay
Holmes is
Holmes is
killing
getting
us.
cooked. He's getting cooked every game.
He
Every
is.
yeah.
game he's getting cooked.
He's
And
a
it's
clear
not
weakness
just
in the
4 or 5
secondary.
yard passes. It's like deep passes every game, over the middle,
Yeah.
deep outs, deep ends. It's like, man, like, dude, why are you always in chase mode? He's like Diggs
Because
without the
he
interceptions.
those are DBs that they rely on their recovery speed more than anything,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Yeah.
technique. If you play proper technique, you don't have to recover. But now, if you're getting trail and always trying to catch up, you also start to panic. Very few DBs
That's
stay
why he gets
stay
penalties.
exactly. Very few
Mm-hmm.
stay composed, even if you get beat off the line of scrimmage, which is one of the reasons why I love Deion Sanders. Even if he got beat and he grew to recover, he didn't cause stupid penalties. He trusted his speed and got to the receiver and then played proper technique from there. And that's why I always say to DBs, get film on Deion. If you're
Yeah.
fast like that and you have good recovery, get film and just stop panicking. Because that's the biggest thing you do.
Yeah,
You panic.
Dion was a different monster, man. That dude,
Sauce looks like he could be one of those
he
guys.
let he let people get past him on purpose.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's true.
remember the
That's true.
game.
That's true. That's
That
true.
game.
That's true. That's
You
true.
look at his film.
Yeah,
Film.
you're right.
He was
But
slow dogging on purpose and make the receiver throw his hand at him. All of a sudden, he's in front of him. Like
Yep.
Dion was a different
you're right
monster.
about that. You're right
You
about that.
can't watch film on Dion unless you got Dion talent, and I ain't seen a cornerback yet.
Well, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about. I use that as a teaching tool to teach them not how not to panic.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
it.
yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's guys panic. That's why they're grabbing and impeding, as opposed to, all right, you got good speed, recover, get in proper position, and play proper technique, as opposed to you're grabbing and handsy and so on and so forth, or from the line of scrimmage. If you play your technique and your leverage right, because guys are grabbing right off the line of scrimmage, as opposed to, what I've always said, playing a DB is like playing defense on basketball. Use your feet. If you
Right.
use your feet and put yourself in the proper leverage,
Mm.
you're not going to panic. You're not going to be grabbing all the time. So it's the guys panic, and that's the biggest concern for me with most DBs.
Yeah.
My main man too, though, he says, Pat, the offenses are targeting Crowder to make the runs by him. Almost every team we played against, especially the Cowboys, made him look like Popeye chicken extra crispy.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But
Oh, I got it. Why don't we start trying to put McFadden in a little bit more of an increased role in the linebacker core? Give this kid a chance. See what he can do out there next to Jalen Smith. Maybe that could happen if Crowder keeps getting beat in the middle. Maybe you try to give the rookie a shot in the middle of that defense
I
with all
think
the time he's been there. So, or
he
even
has been
Crowder
on that.
or Coughlin or Brown.
He hasn't been on that field long. I mean, we're past the point where we're now playing for something, as opposed to a complete rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're putting it, as much as you're saying McFadden, put him out there, he's still a rookie. And you put him out there for a play or two or a series or two, but to have him play a whole game, I'm not
Nah,
comfortable with
I
that
No,
doubt
right
not
it.
the whole game, but certain situations. If it's like a pass play for the other team, if you know it's going to be a pass play, maybe try McFadden out there and see how he
now. Oh
does, and just see if he
Lord,
doesn't get burnt in the middle. What?
here we go again. Sorry, no, I
Yeah,
was using
Anthony
Tommy.
Davis, boy. Yeah,
Yeah,
Anthony Davis, boy. Lord have
Huh?
mercy.
he's injured again.
What happened to him this time?
Said he had an injury with a back injury from a big fall. He's
Oh,
always falling
Jesus.
on his back.
He's always hurt. The dude
Wow.
spends more
Yeah.
time on the bench injured than he does on the basketball court. No wonder why the
He would
Lakers are
he would
0-3.
he would fit very well here.
He needs to play football, yeah, because
Yeah.
He's one of them
he's.
all shit dudes. Oh shit.
Yes.
Every time you go for a
You
basketball,
know,
oh
I hate to
shit.
say it, Pat, but you know who else is falling in that category? Your guy Lonzo Ball. He's falling in that category
Yep.
too, because he gets
Yep.
hurt all the time.
All the time. Lord have mercy.
And Ben Simmons is going into the "oh I suck" category because he got Kyrie Irving yelling at him to shoot, and the dude
Right.
won't shoot. Holy crap!
Yeah, the Nets, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's playing worse, you or the Lakers.
You
Lord
want
have
to know
mercy.
why we lost tonight? I'll say it quick because I know it's a football thing. Because of the fact that this team went ice cold in the second half, they couldn't buy a three. Nobody on this team could score except for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Royce O'Neal actually hit 4 3-point shots in the first half. After that, nothing. Ben Simmons had as many fouls tonight as he had points. The bench, we got outscored tonight by the Bucks bench 38-21. We got out-rebounded 54-37. How are we supposed to win basketball games when we can't shoot?
Did
We don't
Cam
have anybody that
Thomas play?
scores or rebound. No,
Did
Thomas played 1 minute. He won't
Mm.
play him. Some reason, Steve Nash, before he got kicked out, he has a paradox with not playing this kid, and the kid is a good offensive player, but he just doesn't trust him. Like, he just does not trust his young players to put them out there and give them an opportunity to see what they could do. The only one that plays is Sharp, and Sharp's been struggling lately at center. So, yeah, it's bad. It's not good. Thank God for the Giants. That's all I got to say. Because the Mets and the Nets are just like they kill. They're like I can't even think of the word to say how bad it is with the two of them right now.
The Nets and the Sixers are at the bottom of the Atlantic.
Yeah, Sixers are off to a horrible start too. Well, that Ben Simmons James Harden trade is looking good, huh, fellas?
Mm.
Yeah, it's a good trade so far. Both of them are doing an excellent job.
Mm. Even the Heat is struggling. Wow.
Right.
It's that competitiveness. That Eastern Conference is tough. There's a lot of great teams in that East.
Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks are off to a great start. Your Bulls are off to a great start.
You know what I said about my Knicks. I love my Knicks. I want to see them do well. But right now, it's the real test is coming up because we got Milwaukee Nets and we got this long run of, a mixture, mostly tough games. So, because
Let's see.
we played Charlotte. Right now, we beat Charlotte, Orlando, and Detroit.
Detroit's
So
a good young team, though.
Detroit right now is 1-4.
Yeah, but they're still learning. They got to learn how to win.
That's
They're
my
like
point.
they're like their football team. They got to learn how to win, but they got a lot of good young talent.
They got talent, but they're still learning. So NHL
Coach, you're being too hard on your Knicks. You're being way too hard on your Knicks right now. They're winning right now. It's the only thing that matters.
People gotta realize that there's 82 games in a basketball season, and most teams only played 4.
Yeah.
So
no, I've said that. Jeff tells me. I tell
right.
Jeff, I'm just, and I said it. I said the real test for
Right,
me
they
is
are
going to
Knicks.
start now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the real test of basketball, I'd say, when you get to about 20, 25 games, what your record is there, and then see what you do those next 10 to 15 games after those first 25.
Yeah. Will Ben Simmons have as many points as he does fouls?
I don't think Ben Simmons puts up 200 points this year. He
Oh,
doesn't want to
yeah.
shoot the ball. He doesn't want to shoot the ball. He could be right there underneath the basket and he will pass the ball. Like, somebody has really broke this guy's confidence. Like,
It's
for
Philly.
sure.
That Philadelphia crowd and the whole thing with Embiid, it broke that kid. This kid was not like this when he first started. He had swagger in his first year in Philly. He was good. He was aggressive too.
In the wrong market then, because you're in the city. Went
Right.
from one.
I think they did the same thing to Markel Fultz.
Yeah.
And I've said it.
We panicked, Coach. We had to because we had to get rid of Harden. That's why.
Yeah,
Harden was creating issues over there in Brooklyn, so we had no choice because he was
Harden ain't doing nothing over there with the 76ers.
No, he's not. And Embiid's flopping all over the ground too. Every single second you see Embiid falling on his ass. That guy falls as much as Anthony Davis, except Davis gets hurt when he falls, and Embiid just pops back up looking to punch somebody. Seriously, all the time. But your team's off to a good start. Your Bulls are looking good.
Pat, what was his name again? So I want to make sure I follow him on Twitter. What was his name?
Oh, the Chosen One. The
Chosen One.
Is he from the Twitter Spaces?
Mm-hmm.
The Chosen One.
No, I'm talking about they did the same thing to Markel Fultz when he was there. He was changing his jump shot and everything.
I already follow. Okay, I didn't even know that.
Fultz is all right. He needed to get the heck out of.
He got good when he went to the Magic. I think he still with the Magic?
I think so.
Does that mean that you guys are going to end up giving up on him and get him
Simmons?
out of here?
Yeah. I hope not. We need him. That's the sad part because we have who else on this team is going to score points? We have nobody but Durant and Irving, and nobody else can score points on this team, and that's bad.
But listen to what you said. To trust him to score points.
I know, but Coach, I'll give you an example. Who on that Nets team right now can you trust consistently to get points on that team?
Y'all have convinced me on Cam Thomas.
Because he's good. He put up 30-plus points. Breezy was right about that. He does.
That's my point. So it's like that's your answer. So it's like,
and you go down to the Barclays Center and you drag Steve Nash into the back and you tell him why you're not playing Cam Thomas. What you have against this kid? You're not putting him on the court. Because we wondering the same thing. Why is this kid not playing? He could light it up on the court. He's probably our third best scorer. Claxton, who's not even an offensive center, and had the third most points on our team. He's mostly there for rebounding and defense.
But that's why I said, do you think you guys will end up, not right now, not today. I'm not talking about today, but probably by mid-season or before the trade deadline, if things are going bad and you get rid of Nash, do you think you guys trade Simmons?
No, I don't think so. I think they still want to try to get something out of this kid. Yeah, and who's going to take him? Yeah, see, even Taj is shaking his. Oh, the Lakers. I'm sorry, Taj.
I'm sorry, Taj. Again?
Oh yeah, they're down by 13 to the Nuggets.
I mean, we're down by 11 to them now, 76-65.
Taj, you got to tell your center to stop getting hurt every 2 seconds.
For real, man. Like, this dude, AD,
is he playing?
You can't watch. Now he's still, now he's still out there. Like
Oh,
every
oh.
time you see AD, like every time you see AD just like come down and shit,
Do
you
you
just be
think
like,
we're gonna?
ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah, you
he
get
ready
like
to
a
hold
two
his
like
ankle.
you're gonna see Fred
you
holding
can't
the thing
watch.
too.
Like every time,
I'm surprised he didn't grab his
Skyler,
ankle after falling on his
yeah,
back.
you just get a feeling like,
Pat,
ooh,
Skyler Big Red Show,
can't
Shaw.
watch.
Did you see
Says
the question?
says, do you think we're gonna trade for a receiver? I don't feel like we are. I think Joe's gonna stick to his guns. As of right now, I truly believe they're not gonna trade for a receiver. But let's say we win that game against the Seahawks and the receivers suck again. They're gonna seriously consider it. Because if
No.
Daniel Jones keeps winning like that and the receivers are dropping balls and he's got to put up 50 to 100 yards rushing and 200 yards passing with receivers that are dropping the ball, imagine what he could do with a receiver out there that would catch those.
There's also another factor with this game where I think it's going to be hard for the receivers that we have because, and I know they're rookies, but they're cornerbacks.
Oh, Woolen
Wooten
and Kobe
and
Bryant are
Kobe
balling.
Bryant and what's the other one?
Oh
The
yeah,
um is it Diggs over there?
I think he's a safety.
Quandre Diggs.
Quandre Diggs, I
Yeah.
think, is safety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Because I somebody said he was playing center, so that's why I thought okay they moved him. So
He's a safety.
But
okay, so
but
yeah,
And
Pat,
the guy's Sidney Jones at slot.
yeah, but Coach and I were talking about it last night. Do you think that they're just still waiting to
come
see if they can
on,
get
man.
anything out of Kadarius Toney and Kenny Galladay?
You
Anything, and
have
maybe
to.
that's why.
yeah.
That's why they won't make
I,
a trade because they want to get something out of these two guys when they come
I
back.
think they don't want to make a trade because they want to use their draft picks themselves. You know,
I think
this
so
is a
too.
this is a GM that loves to draft.
Yeah, I
So
agree. They want to get their
and
own
with
guy.
yeah, you don't want to waste a draft pick on a receiver if you already got one on the team. I don't know.
Hey,
I know they're not waiting on Galladay, but Tony, I could pretty much guarantee they're waiting
Yeah,
to see
yeah.
what Tony is about.
They went on Tony.
Somebody just
Galladay,
got
fuck
hurt.
that nigga.
Caldwell Pope just got hurt, I think.
KCP got hurt.
Yeah, is that KCP, Tosh?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's not good for the Broncos. The Nuggets, they can't lose him. Kid's a
Yeah,
good
me
defense.
too.
no.
No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. I'd rather have a fully healthy, motivated KT over DJ Moore. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Just that he got to get
KT.
on the field.
Pat,
Yeah.
was this the QBR you were talking about where Daniel Jones is at 81.7 and Mahomes is
Yeah.
at
Uh-huh.
7?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, that right there.
Uh-huh.
With no receivers.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
evidence, boy. We got evidence.
yeah.
So
Over the last 4 weeks, he's had the closest quarterback is Patrick Mahomes and is 7 points behind him in QBR. That's not even quarterback rating. That's QBR,
mm-hmm.
the
He's
QBR.
the
one
only one
everybody
that has
wants to
Hayden.
go by.
I mean Josh Allen is what almost is nine points behind him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Almost 10.
Yeah.
Look, anybody that's going out there now that wants to bash Daniel Jones, I don't. It's such a moot point because these people are never going to
Look,
change. But Daniel Jones is doing everything out there to prove that he is a good quarterback. So
I was listening. Who was that this morning
he's good. The kid
in
is
the
good.
wait a minute, who was that? Who was in the what was his name? He was in the whatchamacallit, that little chat thing on Twitter.
Oh, the Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, and he was because he said he's been following the Giants since 1956, and he swear that Daniel Jones is on par to be a Dave Brown and a Danny Cannell.
Oh yeah,
And
he one of
You
everyone,
must be
those.
talking
Yeah, he
about
one of
Charlie.
those. Yeah, oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Charlie,
Man, bro, I
thank
can't
you,
stand
Oh,
that
Charlie
dude.
Vacchiano.
I
thank you,
can't stand that
yes.
dude.
Oh
Yo,
yeah.
That
I
old
had to get off of it because I mean, first of all, everybody was going at him. They really were going at him. But it's just like, yo, are you serious? And one of the
and you
guys
could
said,
tell he looked racist too. You could tell, like
Yeah, I doubt he's racist, but he is
Mhm.
a clown. I believe
Yeah.
it's just an
No,
act.
he does it
It's
for the
clown
just an
though.
act.
clicks.
He's
He
a
does it to
clown.
get the clicks and get people to pay attention to him. That's why he does it. Just to piss
well,
people off.
all I can say is if I see him, I know to just exit out. Don't pay attention to anything because he's not getting clicks from me. Because
See, man, like
That just leaves me
this is
like,
why I
are
don't
you
go there for
really a
that.
football?
Oh,
I'll just go there for
oh,
that. That's it.
oh! He might have just blown out his knee.
Who the hell know?
No, I'm watching the replay of Caldwell Pope. He landed right on his leg and it just buckled, and he went right to his knee, and you got to help out the cord. Oof.
Mm.
Like he literally landed and it just buckled his
ACC
knee.
got time, but wait.
Well, if we're gonna draft receivers next year, right now it's gonna be what's his name from TCU.
If we could
What,
get that
Johnson?
kid from TCU picking at the bottom of the first round, that's our number one receiver right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
nice.
Yeah,
promise you. That dude is
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
yeah. He's like 6'4",
6'4" with
220.
speed, good route running, can
Yeah,
get deep. The kid's got every
no, I
type of thing you
agree.
want.
that's
But
basically almost everything he
you're
is.
gonna have guys
He's
like
6'4",
Butte,
speed, right?
Addison, Smith, and Jigba,
Yeah.
Mims, who are gonna, will they push him down the board? Because, you know,
Like 280,
even Hyatt,
290.
will somebody jump in Hyatt and push him down the board? Because
Or
that's what
Perry.
I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I mean. I'm hoping. But we know when first and foremost when it comes to the combine, that's what everyone's going to go by first things first is what is his 40 time, and then they're going to go through the drills.
I bet he
So
run like a 4.4,
Well,
4.5.
everybody's saying Mark Sanchez said good things about us. So before I head off, I'm gonna give y'all a little thing, let y'all hear what Mark Sanchez had to say.
okay.
So give you a little
Giants going
special on
11-6. I don't give a damn about no Mark Sanchez or fumbling that.
Yeah.
now. You said he had something good to say, so
Welcome to another edition of the
He
Giants
better.
Huddle Podcast, presented by PSE&G, energy efficiency for game time and anytime. Visit pseg.com/Giants for discounts, rebates, and home
Josh
energy
Schnuck's always
assessments.
so happy.
On this week's episode, we're joined by former NFL quarterback and current Fox analyst Mark Sanchez. You can catch him on the broadcast on Sunday at 4:25 on Fox, Channel 5 here locally. Mark, good to talk to you, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. If I were any better, it'd be against the law, buddy.
Very good. This is your third time this week doing the Giants. You can hear Mark's coverage of the Giants on Fox this Sunday at 4:25. So, Mark, let's start with a real basic question. How the heck are the Giants 6-1?
I think that's the $1 million question. And I'll tell you what, a lot of it starts with their defense and the play of that quarterback, and Daniel Jones. I think he's playing so efficient, and especially with his supporting cast, he's elevating those guys. And some of those windows he's thrown into, I used the phrase last week in our game, trying to fit a camel in a matchbox. I mean, that guy's got to do it like 5 to 10 times a game. And these windows are not – it's not like he's got guys just streaking wide open down the field. I mean, he's fitting some balls in that are incredible throws. And, I couldn't be more proud of the guy. It's fun to watch from a quarterback spot, and especially as a guy who played in New York and understands the kind of pressure he's under every week. That's not easy to do, for him to be able to put the blinders on and block out all the media scrutiny and just keep plugging away. I was thoroughly impressed. I did get a chance to call that game in London against the Packers. That was one of his best performances until Baltimore, until Jacksonville. Like, it just keeps getting better. So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, so let's touch on this part of it first. You talked about doing this despite the scrutiny in New York, and it's hard to keep your job here, whether you're talking baseball, basketball, football. When you've had a lot of losing for 3 years and you're like the face of the franchise, to be able to just continue to be consistent and go about your business and not let it affect you. Can you just kind of talk about how over such a long period of time he's been able to stick with it and kind of finally take that step this year?
Well, it's really been impressive to see his demeanor and how steady he is. You mentioned consistent, and that's exactly the way to describe him. And he hasn't complained once. If anything, I think it was in the offseason when the owner came out and said, hey, listen, we haven't made things easy on our quarterback. If anything, we've made it difficult on him, right? And he did an interview from their facility, I feel like, in the offseason this year. That would have been an easy opportunity. I mean, they just left the door wide open for Daniel Jones to say, yeah, man, this is hard, you know? And nobody would have balked at that. Nobody would have said one word or had any issue with him saying that. And he still didn't do it. He still took the high road. So, I mean, that there to me is like, that's everything you want in your quarterback. And, I mean, this guy's tough as nails. So you can see it, and that's why these guys are rallying around him, you know? Granted, Coach Dable's putting him in, you know, great spots. He's reminding him to use his legs. I mean, he's the second leading rusher for quarterbacks, I think.
Yep.
He had over 100 yards last week and a rushing touchdown. Like, whatever it takes to get it done, this guy's going to do it. And it's clear that this coaching regime is the group that's been able to get it out of him, right? He didn't just wake up this season with all this ability, right? It didn't just show up out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the kid's had it this whole time. And so credit to Dable and Shea and all those guys and, you know, Wink Martindale and the defense for putting them in good spots, getting all those fumbles. I think they lead the league in fumbles or fumble recoveries with like 7 or 8. I mean, it's just an all-out team.
Good old ad.
I want the best for him.
No, you don't.
Glad we're friends.
Wave to a friend. Wave like a human being.
The hell?
Approach, and they lean on specific parts of their game, special teams, you know, little things like getting the punter back from overseas, right? Like, that's a big deal.
I don't
you know what I mean? And people, you know, kind of laugh at that and whatever, and, oh, yeah, they got it. It doesn't matter. It's like an all-hands-on-deck effort. And all I know is the Giants teams that I've seen the last few years would have bowed out a long time ago. This is a different group, a re-energized group, a reinvigorated group.
I want to get to the scheme in a second and get back to where you think Daniel's improved. But I think, you know, you mentioned how they're winning these games and the team effort. Does this remind you a little bit the way the offense isn't being asked to do a lot, but they're being efficient, they're protecting the football, they're scoring in the mid-20s, give or take? Does this remind you at all of how you and your Jets offense played those 2 years you got to the championship games, where you want to keep it a little dirty, keep it in the high teens, keep it in the low to mid-20s, but then as the quarterback, it's your job to score points, but also not put the team in bad spots, which is something Daniel has also avoided this year.
Oh, 100%. Although I think they're generating a little more offense than the Jets are right now, and both teams, like, thank God for New York, because the last few years have been rough, you know, for both sides, right? Green and blue. It's been ugly. And both teams have kind of taken that approach. All I would say is I think Daniel's been asked to do a little bit more right now. And he's got a little more experience.
Oh, yeah, Mark, 100%.
So
Mark, I was more referring back to when you had your time with the Jets and the way you guys are winning back then than necessarily Zach Wilson today.
No. I agree, but I think they're doing the same thing we did as well.
Oh, I got you.
I'm trying to say. Yep. Like both these two New York teams from 22 right now are doing a little bit of what we've done. I think the Jets are doing more of it because they're, you know, he's asked to throw it maybe 18 times a game, 20 times a game over in with the Jets. So I think Daniel's been asked to do a little bit more throwing wise. Sure. And listen, he's also got the ability to run. Like, I couldn't run like that. We used to use Brad Smith.
That's right.
To accomplish that, right? We do it with the Wildcats. So whatever it took, you know, his 100 yards last game, Daniel Jones, that goes right into the rushing category, but it wasn't Saquon, and it gives him a little breather, right? Because they've, you know, at certain games, I mean, the ball's going to 26 no matter what because everybody's been out, right? It's been him and Bellinger, and you get a dose of, you know, Slayton, Richie James, and Wan'Dale Robinson occasionally whenever somebody's healthy, right? Like, those guys get banged up. So they got to figure out ways to do it. But, I mean, are you kidding me? I don't know how Dayball's getting any sleep, and I don't think he is. Because when you have guys out like that, you got to understand, John, like, this is – when all your horses are good and you got 5 legit targets and you're the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs right now, I'm not saying that they're not, like, working hard. But it's a different kind of working hard, right? Like, you know what guys are going to show up. You have specific, you know, sections on your playbook for each playmaker. And, okay, here's our, you know, 5 to 10 Kelsey plays where he's number 1 or 2 in the progression. Here's the ones for Juju. Here's the ones for Hardman, whatever. When you don't know who's going to play and you only have, like, 2 wideouts or, you know, you got to use Saquon a ton, and you're like, okay, he's going to get 20 carries at least, and we got to find a way to get him 10 to 15 balls in the pass game. You know how hard that is to scheme that up for an offense? Like, you're up all night trying to make it easy on them, because now you got to formate these plays, right? You got to come up with these formations without making new formations and tagging everything, right? So you can either make new formations and tell everybody a bunch of new names to line them up in specific positions, or you got to tag everything. For instance, you know, okay, this time I don't want Bellinger to play the Y position, which is like the starting tight end position. I need him at the F. So we're going to call this 1 back, 2 tight ends. So we're going to call it 12 personnel. There's 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, 1 back, and we're going to call it 12 Aztec. And that means, you know, he went to San Diego State. Now, Bellinger, you got to go to the F. So all those different tags and stuff, like, you just can't line up and call trips right, you know, all go special and let it ride. Like, you have to it's so exhausting, and, you know, but it's so rewarding. That's why he's so fired up after the games, right? Because they are just grinding all week to get these specific looks and put their guys in, you know, a position where they can keep it close in the fourth quarter, wait for the other team to make a mistake, and pounce on it. And that's what they've done.
Yeah, I love that answer. So as a quarterback, you've been in different schemes. You've seen different schemes, Mark. You know what works and what doesn't and why. Considering the issues at wide receiver, and you mentioned that in your first answer, right? These are not big windows. There's not a lot of separation out there, except for maybe a couple of the plays with Wan'Dale Robinson and Slayton going deep a little bit. How has Brian Dable been able to even manufacture the offense he's been able to, given the inability of guys to win consistently one-on-one outside?
Well, I mean, when you don't have separators consistently in their, like, known positions, it makes life difficult. But when he knows he's going to get Slayton, you know you're going to get Slayton on the go ball, on a post shot, on a big in route, somewhere where he doesn't have to stop and start too much, because he's more of a straight line speed guy.
Yep.
And when you get those opportunities, you can tell he's coached up the quarterback like, hey, we're gonna basically, you know, sauce up the water over here. We're gonna splash over here. We're trying to get Slayton one-on-one in this matchup, like he did down on the fade ball against Jacksonville. Hey, we're gonna show him a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna motion Saquon. We're gonna get all eyes looking at number 26, and we're gonna feed him the rock, boom. But as soon as that safety lines up at the middle of the field and he's more concerned about all this other stuff we got going on the other side of the field, do not hesitate to take that shot to Slayton,
Stephen A.
right?
Bitch ass.
And so you realize now that you get limited opportunities to do those things, there's only going to be one shot. So if you get that one shot, you can't miss. And Daniel Jones just dropped a dime right on him, right? And Slayton's got to win, granted, so everything has to work out.
Wait, can I see that? Shut off the electric cautery.
There's still some.
What the hell?
They know, and you can tell it's all in sync, right? And when an offense is firing like that, I mean, it's just tough to stop, because, you know, what are you going to do? You bet the farm that Saquon's going to get the ball, which you should, because odds are he is. And when he doesn't, and then Daniel Jones goes and does something like that, it's like, damn, how are we going to stop these guys?
The Giants' official connected TV streaming at Giants TV brings original video content and game highlights on demand and direct to Big Blue fans. Giants TV is free on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, and the Giants mobile app. Yeah, and look, and you've mentioned a couple times about his legs and how that's helped too, because, you know, Mark, to your point, this is not a big down the field, throw balls 20-plus yards down the field type of offense, but it's almost like they've used Jones's ability to keep it to almost be that counter to the run game instead of the deep pass game, right? Because you have to keep that extra defender on the weak side, because Daniel can keep it and run for 19, 20, 30 yards, even depending on the play. And it just seems like his legs and the way Dable has teamed this up, it's so essential, and it kind of is almost like the binding fluid that almost makes everything in this offense work a little bit.
Oh, 100%. And it's really like an absolute backbreaker for the defense. When you got everything covered,
I'm sorry.
you can move a little bit in the pocket, and then feel the rush expanding, feel the linebackers expanding into their coverage and take off and run. Or God forbid you're in man-to-man and everybody's running one side of the field and he can escape the weak side, like away from the routes where all the routes began and are now running away from.
Yep.
I mean, it's like the defense is like, really? You know? God, we had him dead to rights, right? And there goes Daniel Jones scampering for a first down and waltzing out of bounds. Now what? And he did it. I mean, he did it in London against the Packers after that long play and on a bum ankle. Like, you're telling me this kid doesn't want to win, I'd say you're crazy.
No, I'm with you. Where do you think Mark Daniel has improved as a thrower, passer, quarterback as you've seen him really develop?
Pat,
And where have
the
you seen
chat
kind of
wants
a
you
big
to
jump
put the
this
No
year
Galladay
with his
picture
performance
back
on
up.
the field as a
That was funny. That was
Even
funny.
Tudo
importantly,
saying,
his
please, Pat,
decision-making,
put it back on.
I think his accuracy is only getting better and better, and that's his time on task. And some guys are just more accurate than others, naturally. Some guys throw a few more interceptions than others, naturally. That's kind of the way it is. But you can tell Sable's been a huge influence on him. And some of those, like one of my first conversations with
You
Dable in
broke
that
Jeff.
week 1 game against Tennessee, I just said, like,
Can't get right.
seems like even in the preseason, he just seems a little more calm. Like, he knows he's like, you're not going to screw up the easy ones. The routine ground balls, like, you're going to nail those 10 out of 10 times. And when it comes time to make the, diving Derek Jeter, diving towards third base, pop up and jump and across
I
your
don't know
body
what
and
I
throw
was
the guy
doing when I
out at
made
first
that
base,
one.
like
Slinging Judy's on the
get out of the
pictures.
inning
That's
and
what you was
get the
doing.
team up to bat, like, okay, like we can go 50% on those. We don't have to hit every single one.
Right.
He's
And
washed.
it just seems like, you're never going to miss a run check.
No, Pat used to laugh when
When
we
it's single
said he's
high, it's single
washed
high.
because
I want you
Pat just
thinking single high.
pictured
When it's
somebody
split
being
safety,
taken
we're going
out,
to figure out a way to run the ball.
put down.
Right.
And I'm going to give you a million different runs. You just get me in the right one. I mean, it's just it just looks like he's
Tom
really
Brady's
like
looking
they're both
washed.
in sync.
Aaron
Right?
Rodgers
He
looking
It
understands
might
what
be
they
the
call his
divorce,
purpose.
though. It might
He
be
knows
the
how
divorce.
to win, but more importantly, what's going to get you beat.
I ain't
And
gonna
he
lie.
doesn't
When
do it.
me and my wife first
It's really
split up, I
impressive.
don't think I
Yeah,
made
and
a
I think the
video
other
for
thing that
like
impresses
2-3
me
months.
too, Mark,
Remember?
as a guy that's played the
Mhm.
quarterback, Daniel's position, Daniel's ability
It's
to
nice
stay
Mike Evans catches the ball, too.
right? Because I'm sure deep inside of him, he wants to throw the post balls. He wants to throw that's 18-yard deep outs. He wants to make big plays down the field. But he's been so patient and disciplined in how he's played. He's taking what's there. He's not forcing anything down the field. Can you just explain to the audience how difficult it is for a quarterback to stay in structure that consistently and just try to push down that internal urge where I want to go out there and make a big play?
Yeah, it's nearly impossible. And some guys figure out a way to do it. Some guys don't. But what's impressive is, especially that.
Yeah, I know. I'll be calling
Baltimore
that game. Ravens and Bucks.
He was in it for so long. They kept it close for so long. And what happened? Lamar Jackson makes a crazy play, right? Boom, you get a bad snap. Oh, shoot, boys, we got a chance here. Then he throws it to your defense.
There he is.
So the bottom line is the biggest
There he
growth,
is.
in my opinion, for Daniel Jones is understanding the game and how to play. Because more games are going to be lost than they are won. And when it's time to go win one, then you go take your shot. Go flip a coin. You'll be fine, right? Rely on your instincts. Trust your instincts. Cut it loose. It's fourth down. Yes, the guy's hanging on your ankle, and you're trying to escape, and you got to chuck up a ball. Okay, fine. But on 1st and 10 in the first quarter in the red zone, we don't even think about doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? And knowing when to take a sack. You're down on your own, 10-yard line, about to go in and punch the ball in. You could take a sack on that third down because the field goal's close anyway. You know what I mean? You take a little more time, and you can tell he's understanding those situations, and they're being relayed to him, and he's executing nearly perfectly.
Hey, Giant fans, don't miss Giants football at MetLife Stadium. Limited tickets are available for all remaining home games, including a matchup with the Eagles. Visit giants.com/tickets to find your game this season and secure your seat. All right, give me a feel for the opponent very quickly, Mark, this week before you say goodbye. How about those Seahawks, man? Geno looks great. I know DK Metcalf's not going to play, but Tyler Lockett is fantastic. Kenneth Walker, he barely played the first 4 games. He might still end up being Offensive Rookie of the Year the way he's gone the last 2. What do you see when you look at Seattle's offense, and how are they doing it?
Did they rule out DK Metcalf for sure?
No, they haven't, but I guess I'm taking a little bit of a leap of lack of faith there in terms of Metcalf with the game.
Yeah, it's interesting because talk about knowing how to play, knowing your personnel, and the total transformation of Geno Smith. Because, you saw him play in New York. The guy playing right now is not the same player that played in New York. It's the same person, but he ain't playing the same. And it's a lot like Daniel Jones, understanding your personnel, understanding what the situation is, playing within yourself, and when it's time to go make a play, you go.
This is Ego Labs, where technology and innovation create power beyond belief. Introducing the all-new
give up your best stuff. And he, they control the game really well, especially out of their 13 personnel with 1 back, 3 tight ends, and 1 receiver. I think that's one of their strongest personnels. And then when they get DJ Dallas and Kenneth Walker on the field at the same time, I like that personnel for them. And that was shown, by the Packers in London. I thought that was one of their best personnels when they get A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones in the game at the same time, because then it puts stress on Jake Crowder and Jalen Smith from the Giants. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that a little bit from Seattle. But, I mean, the job that Wink Martindale's done, he's going to have to figure out what to do when it's time for those tight ends to come in the game. Naturally you want to put in bigger guys, but at the same time they can run it out of that. And then they also run empty formations where nobody's in the backfield with Geno out of those deals. So if you're going to put big guys in there, they got to be able to cover. And they got to be able to cover in space because they'll spread you out and make it tough. And you can't forget also, I mean, Geno's not as effective a runner as maybe Daniel Jones, but he's not far behind, right? He's maybe a half step slower, and he's running the ball really well and getting them out of, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6 kind of situations where you got everybody covered up and gloved down the field. And
I'm
then
just hating because he got more Beijing on than hair on his hairline.
And then on defense, man, they're building a bully. They're building it the same way they built it with the Legion of Boom, right? Ryan Neal looks just like Cam Chancellor. Tariq Woolen looks just like Richard Sherman, except he's probably, at least 1/10 of a second, if not 2/10 of a second faster. And that kid can really fly. He's long, he's lean, he'll jam you at the line of scrimmage.
Plays the ball
the
too,
other kid,
man.
Mike Jackson. Yeah, I mean, there's some physical.
I would love to see 13-4, but I predicted 11-6 the day the roster was released, the schedule.
All over again. He did it in college. He did it with the Seahawks once, went to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them. And now he's, threatening to do it again with Geno Smith of all quarterbacks. Like, that's unheard of. So you can't say enough about that coaching staff and what they're doing. I mean, it's got to be the best matchup of the weekend. I'm fired up.
Yeah, me too. Final question, Mark. When you watch the Giants defense, you've mentioned Wink Martindale a couple of times. You having flashbacks to dealing with Rex Ryan's defense in practice? How similar are they? And what does an opposing quarterback have to deal with when you're dealing with all of that's going on?
Well, I shared a story with Wink before that first game on a Zoom call, because we were doing our production meeting and they were traveling to Tennessee. We were covering that first game of the year. And I just said, got it. As soon as I saw your name on the docket here that we had to talk, I got a little flashback of Ed Reed coming off the edge at Baltimore and just lighting me up. First play of the game, sack, cause, fumble, touchdown, Ravens. He started laughing. He said, yeah, I don't know why you didn't send your line the other way. And I said, well, we had a backup center in. I just thought we were going left no matter what. Like we said, if Ed is anywhere near, number 20 on defense is anywhere near the line of scrimmage, just slide to him because that's when he's coming, So I just thought it was assumed that we had a backup center in, and I didn't over-communicate, which I should have. I just got tattooed in the back of the head. And I just remembered telling Wink that. He started laughing. It was funny. It is, it keeps the quarterback on edge and gives you fits sometimes, and there's going to be some looks that you just, bottom line, they're just going to get you. And it's in those moments that you can't try and do too much. You can't try and make the throw in the backfield, while 2 guys are trying to bring you down to the ground because they had free runners. But he's going to get free runners on him, and now it's going to be about Geno making really good decisions when the defense guesses right. And, with a guy like Wink, they're going to guess right plenty of times. So you just have to be incredibly sharp and know you're going to get, there's not many patterns you can get used to, right? You just got to be ready for anything.
He has a higher QBR than all of those guys with shittier receivers than all of them.
Right? Like no matter what coverage, no matter what defense, no matter what front, I know exactly where I'm going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Generally, that helps when you play against schemes like that because they're all over the place. If you try and figure it out, it's the end of the fourth quarter and, you've already turned the ball over 3 times.
Man, that's enough of Mark Sanchez.
And then after that interview, he ran into somebody's ass.
Damn, I wasn't expecting that, man.
It wasn't his offensive lineman more.
Yeah.
Neither was he, coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Turn around, doink,
But
right up the crack.
I mean, that's what the quarterback Mark Sanchez had to say about Daniel Jones. He's pretty much regurgitating the many of the things that here with the Big Blue Crew have been saying all year long. Um, as you seen by the slideshow, that this man has a higher QBR than Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Josh Allen, and your Justin Herberts, and all those guys. And there is a pretty significant gap between them.
Since week 4.
And he has nowhere near the amount of talent that these other guys have on their teams.
Oh shit! I thought Marcus Johnson was good.
So I mean, I think he's doing some amazing things, and I definitely believe this kid can lead us to the Super Bowl. But yeah, keeping Jones under 30 attempts is the only productive way, because if you go out there and throw 50 times with those receivers, it's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the throws are tight window throws. Yes, they are. But I just want to get you guys' last thoughts about this upcoming Seahawks game and the Giants going into the future before we get out of here. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the little slideshow that I was giving you guys.
Oh, the Galladay one was funny as hell. That was
Oh
great.
yeah, we gotta get
How'd
that
you
one.
do-
One
how'd
more.
you do
I
that?
don't know. I don't know what I was doing when I made this picture. I don't know what I was doing.
Surprised you put like Tony like all wrapped up in like tape or something, like all wrapped up because he's hurt every second.
You got him in question marks. I see that.
Yeah, it's question. I guess I was saying that he's the question mark of the receiving group.
The
What can
Galladay
he
one though,
possibly
that killed
do?
me. That killed
But
me.
these right here, man, I'm just showing you the work that I do for you guys, man. I do plenty of work, and I would love to destroy all these guys on their shows, but one day you'll see it. But look out for the tomorrow for the what to watch. New York Giants, what to watch for. Got
We're
an
going to
episode
destroy them
tomorrow coming out.
from our own show, Pat.
True.
We're going to destroy them from our own show. We're going to have our own platform just like theirs, if not better. And we'll be able to give factual opinions and break down film, not just blow hot air on TV like these bums do.
But yeah, exactly. Look out for what to watch. What New York Giants, what to watch for tomorrow. I got an episode coming out tomorrow for you guys. So in the works of getting that edited for you guys. Man, I appreciate you guys being on here. Give me your we did final scores and everything the other day, but just give me what you think is going to happen in this Seattle game and how we move forward afterwards. Starting with I guess Coach.
I think we're going to attack them heavily with the run, setting up the play action, which is going to help hopefully one of these receivers at least be fairly productive. And the one I'm looking for is Wan'Dale Robinson. But again, I'm expecting Barkley to have anywhere from 120 to 135 yards rushing, about 2 touchdowns. Daniel Jones is going to have roughly about 70 to 80 yards rushing and a touchdown. And he's going to pass about the same way, about 200 yards, and probably have a touchdown. The concern is shutting down Walker. And I think we're going to step up to the task. And honestly, I really do think we're going to do it. And we're going to contain him and control him because Wink is going to step up to the plate to design something to control their outside attacks. Gino is not going to have a big game against us. He's going to be fairly average, and we're going to get to him, and he's going to throw up a pick
He's going to
somewhere
throw
along the
2
line.
picks. Yep.
So, and I expect us to win, and we're going to make that stadium pretty quiet so they don't come into play to impact or affect our offense. So, I score, if you want to ask me a score, roughly what we've been about 27, 28 to about 17. I'll give them. I think they get 20 points. I do think they get 20 points.
Wow, that's what I called. I said 28-20.
Okay.
I said 23-20. Jeff, what you got?
Well, the two guys that I want to see have a step up game on defense, especially, is I want to see Darnay Holmes and Tate Crowder
Yeah,
have
you
one
can
of those
forget
big
Darnay
games.
Holmes.
He's got to do it eventually. He's got to do it eventually if he wants to continue. If he wants to keep his job. So I'm looking for him to try to see if he can step up in the slot. And also, I want to see who's going to be able to take Fant out of the game because Fant could be more of a weapon now for that team because of the fact that Metcalf is probably not going to be there, and I trust Adoree or Morneau to take out Lockett when it comes to him going deep. So on offense, I expect Saquon to run wild because that team can't stop the run for their life, and Saquon Barkley is going to run wild on the team. Azudu, he's looking pretty good at run blocking. I think when that kid gets a little bit more acclimated playing the left guard position with Bredesen out, I think he's going to get better eventually as a pass blocker. A little bit concerned about the kid at right tackle, Tyree Phillips, but I'll give him a chance. I'm sure they'll probably send a tight end over on that side to help him out at the beginning to see if, how he does. I actually think one of our other tight ends might step up in this game. I'm looking for a guy like Tanner Hudson to take over that role over the middle of the field for when Bellinger went out. And I agree with Coach. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is probably going to be our most effective wide receiver over the middle of the field. I expect him to try to take advantage of some of those short plays against the linebackers because I think that Woolen kid is going to do a solid job against our deep threats like Slayton. So I'm looking for Wan'Dale to have a good game. And I think that Thibodeau is going to go nuts. I think we've seen Dex go nuts a couple of these games. I think Thibodeau is going to go nuts against whether it's Cross or Lucas on the outside. I think Tibb's going to eat both of those guys up. I think he's going to have a couple of sacks. And I think Daniel Jones is just going to do what Daniel Jones has been doing. Not put up like all these gaudy stats or anything. He's going to go out there, make the throws, make the runs. He's going to put up the stats to help this team win. And if we keep it close at the end, you know what? We're going to find a way to turn that team over, and we're going to find a way to get it done again because that's what we've been doing the past few games.
Jeff.
These teams keep giving us chances, and we're going to turn them over again, and we're going to win this game 24-20.
No, it's got to be higher. You're forgetting something. They're ranked 29 against the run.
No, that's why I said Saquon's going to go off.
Barkley is going to fucking tear him up. We might. We might fuck around and put up 35 points this game.
I don't know if we're going to.
I say a defensive touchdown. I say Geno gives us a pick six. Say Saquon runs in for 2. That's 21 right there. DJ probably throws one and runs in one. So probably looking at about 35.
Well, that'd be nice if we can get 35. We haven't scored 35. We haven't scored 30 plus points since 2020. So I love it. We can get over the 30 barrier.
Well, we would have put 30 up 2 weeks ago, but Saquon's not greedy. So
That's true. Good point. But yeah, I expect us to win 24-20. I'm not going to go nuts with the score, but I think we're going to get it done either way because we play well. If we can get this team in the fourth quarter close, we'll make them turn the ball over like we have in the past few games, and we'll make the plays necessary to win this game. And DJ once again will lead us down the field, and he'll get the game-winning touchdown like he has the past few games. So 7-1. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
All I got to say about that. Can we see the
I think the Giants come out slinging Judy and ninja chop Geno Smith right out the damn gate. Make him throw an interception. And
Coach. Look at Coach's face. Look at Coach's face. Ninja chop.
Yo, man, shut up, man.
We gotta get somebody back after they done did it to Bellinger. We gotta Judy chop some damn body.
Right. Judy chop, man.
Well,
man.
I guess it's across the board. We all expect the Giants to be 7-1 after Sunday's game and the 12th man against the Seahawks. We beat Geno Smith and the Seahawks. DJ and the Giants go 7-1, and we go into our bye week feeling very good about ourselves. Looking to go 9-1 before the big battle against Dallas on Thanksgiving, which I think we smashed them as well. Yash, Adagante, thank you for tuning in. Just on the side note, the Bulls just beat the Pacers 124-109. We are looking good.
Fuck
Yeah.
the Pacers.
Without
I forever hate the
Lonzo
Pacers.
I hate
Ball.
the Pacers too.
I would hate the Pacers forever because Reggie Miller used to kill our ass. So
Yeah,
Indian
he
looking
did.
Killed us
motherfucker.
too, Lou. He killed us too.
Motherfucker, Reggie Miller used to eat y'all alive.
And
You know
Spike
who
Lee
used to
used
get?
to egg him
Yeah,
on. Spike Lee
yep.
was the
Spike
main
Lee
damn
used to get
cause.
y'all
Yes, he
ass
did.
whooped so
Those
much, bro.
days.
He used to
Yes,
egg
he
on
did.
Jordan. He used to egg on
Those
Pippen.
days, man. I miss
I
those
miss those
days.
Yeah,
basketball
me too.
days. I miss those
No,
days in the
man,
90s.
that East was some rough right. Remember Miami was strong at that time when they had Zoe.
Yeah. Oh, Zoe would shut the hell
The
up. And Tim
Pistons were
Hardaway.
strong.
Yep,
Pistons,
the
yep.
Pistons were strong.
The Celtics were still strong at that
The
point.
Charlotte was strong. The Hornets were
Oh,
strong at that
yeah.
time.
Larry
Alonzo
Johnson, Muggsy
Mourning.
Bogues, Morning, yep. Indiana, they were strong
Yep,
too. Not just Meller.
the
Yep.
Heat. When
Yeah.
they got Pat Riley as the coach, the Heat,
And your
the
Bulls.
Knicks, the Bulls, the Pacers.
Guess who wasn't
Orlando.
strong?
Yep,
Who wasn't strong?
Orlando.
The
Orlando
Nets
was
weren't
strong.
strong. We sucked.
Well, they
Yeah,
were
y'all
still in New
suck.
Jersey back
Yeah, we
then.
did suck. We had
Yeah,
Kendall
y'all.
Gill as our best player.
Yeah, y'all didn't start getting good till y'all got rid of Kendall Gill and Kerry Kittles.
When y'all got Jason Kidd was when y'all got
Yep.
Kid, Martin,
And
Jefferson, Kittles, and them.
and Kyle Van Horn, whatever that dude's
Oh,
name.
Keith Van Horn?
Horn. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty
he's all
good.
right.
But I
He is
love those
alright.
games when the playoffs came on. Dun, 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 that shit used to go hard as hell.
It did. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Man, you could tell that was the best theme song
That was
ever.
the hype up to get you ready for a big basketball game.
Man, when those damn playoff games was 68-71.
I loved it.
Nobody was scoring.
And you
when
could
them
throw
damn,
elbows
when
and you
them
could
damn
check
Patrick
people.
Ewing sneakers was $150.
Right.
Yeah.
And them Ewings were fresh too.
I had
And
the
you see
black and
guys
orange
out there
ones.
throwing elbows. You see guys knocking each other around, and there were no flopping or anything, and none of these ridiculous foul calls you see now.
Right.
They would
There
actually
was
go
no-
out, and they weren't shaking hands. They
hey.
were hating each other.
There was no Euro step neither. Your ass got
No.
called for traveling.
Exactly. And there was none of these guys shaking hands and lovey-dovey each other after the game. They were going out there on the
Jeff,
court waiting for a battle.
And there
Jeff,
was
you
nobody
remember?
teaming up with each other. Go
You
ahead.
remember what I said last night? It was just a tougher mentality. It's
It
not
was.
the soft ass shit that you deal with today in today's sports. The crybaby, all that other whatever. It's you know
Yeah.
what? Put your big boy pants on and you get me. You got me. I'm coming back and I'm gonna get you. Plain and
Exactly.
simple. Guys
Oh,
are
Nah,
man.
you
hungry.
hit me. I'm gonna go complain.
Those Knicks teams, Lord, I don't know how the Bulls could continue. How we kept continue to beat y'all.
Michael
You
Charles
had
Jordan.
Anthony
fucking Smith.
Mason.
Yeah,
You had
Charles
Charles
Anthony
Smith.
Mason.
Smith.
Charles Smith was
Charles
why.
Smith.
You had Anthony Mason. You had
Charles Oakley,
Charles
Larry
Oakley.
Johnson,
You had Maxwell.
Larry
You had
Johnson.
you had the damn coach too. What's his name?
Derek Harper,
Yep, Derek Harper. What's the damn
Chris
coach
Childs,
of the 76ers?
Charlie Ward. Oh, Doc
Oh,
Rivers,
Doc
Yeah,
Rivers.
Doc Rivers, Charlie Ward. Y'all
Chris
had a
Childs. Yeah,
John
squad.
they did.
Starks.
Chris Childs. You had Mark Jackson at one point before he went to the Pacers.
Knicks were loaded. They were loaded.
Man, y'all
back
had
in the
a
90s.
squad over there, bro.
And it
Pacers
was
were loaded too. That Pacers team was loaded back
Oh
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Talent they had.
Smiths. You had the Davis brothers. Then you had Mark Jackson.
You had Detlef Shrimp. You had Reggie
Yep,
Miller, Mark
Detlef
Jackson.
Shrimp,
Yep, they
Reggie
were
gotta
loaded.
count-
They had
Mark
a lot.
Jackson, Travis
Detroit with the bad boys in Detroit with the
Yep.
Jordan rules. So I mean, yeah, back in those days, hell, even the Celtics with McHale, Parrish, and Maxwell. No
Robert
matter
Parrish. Yeah.
Yep.
what, I still remember Parrish when he who did he clock? That
Oh,
dude just-
McHale. It was McHale, wasn't it?
No, it was Parrish. Parrish clocked I forgot who he clocked. He just came down.
Oh,
'cause he was
Lambeer. Was it Lambeer?
Oh yeah, Lambeer.
That was
Yeah,
Bill
that's right.
Lambier.
It was Lambeer. So I mean,
Remember when Lambeer hit Kurt Rambis?
Yeah, he did. Yep. Yep.
Rambis was mad as hell when he got up.
mhm.
And then
I
somebody, I
remember-
think Karl Malone hit Isaiah Thomas and
Yup,
busted
and
him
cut his
open.
cut his eye open. I remember
Yep.
the Knicks and the Heat when Charlie Ward and PJ Brown went at it, and
Yeah.
Yep.
PJ just picked him up and just
And you
And
see
then you had
You
Jeff Van
remember when
Gundy grabbing the
Latrell
leg?
Sprewell choked the goddamn?
Yeah,
Oh
totally.
yeah.
PJ Carlissimo. That's what I'm
Yep,
saying.
he choked.
Jeff
He
Van
choked
Gundy
PJ.
grabbing the leg of Alonzo Mourning on the ground
Yep.
during that whole thing that happened off the sideline.
But see, look at that mentality. That's the whole point. You won't get that now. You won't get that.
Nope.
Those are good.
It's
When Barkley picked up Shaq, that shit was funny too.
Oh,
Yeah, it
hell
was.
yes.
Yes,
Hell,
it was.
Shaq when he brought down the basket 2 times.
Yeah, and that happened at the Brendan Byrne Arena, Izod.
Yeah, I was
there for that game when it happened.
You was looking forward to Shaq doing that a year or two. You was looking forward.
He had already did it in college before he came to the pros.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Shit, I go back to Daryl Dawkins when he used to shatter backboards. I mean, literally shatter everything before they came with breakaway rims.
What was your boy that made the movie about, man? He used to put the quarter up on the top of the goddamn backboard and jump and grab
what's his name?
The Pearl Manigault?
The Manigault, yeah.
Manigault, yeah.
Yeah. That was something crazy, man. That's hops. That's some serious hops.
Yeah.
You could jump
He
to
ended
the
up
top of the
getting
backboard.
killed, right? Messing with drugs.
I don't know. I don't know if he got killed or if I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Now I watched the documentary. They made a documentary about him, and they show bits and pieces of the movie, and then they like interviewed people who knew him and stuff like that, and they went and visited the school that he went to, and it was like, yeah, he died tragically. I don't remember if he was killed or if he OD'd or something, but
1998. And he died from congestive heart failure in 98 at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City.
Always Mount Sinai, boy. God almighty.
The Knicks' best chance to win a championship was in those 94, 95 when they were going against Houston. Should have won
Patrick
that one.
Ewing's knees was washed.
Yeah. John Stars couldn't hit anything.
His knees was washed because when he went on that fast break, bro, the old Ewing would have dunked that shit, and he couldn't even get up, and he laid it up, and that shit rolled around the rim, bro. That shit broke my fucking heart, bro.
That shit was funny as hell. I said, man, this dude can't move.
It was bad.
When Ewing got washed from his knees, that shit was funny as hell. Man. I said, God, dog.
I don't care what anyone says. The worst shit for me as a Knicks fan was Charles Smith getting fucking blocked in the low box when you can't just go up and fucking dunk the damn
I remember
ball.
that. That was bad. That was really sad.
You went up soft as shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but damn.
And that Rockets team was loaded too. They had a lot of talent on that Rockets team. Olajuwon, Drexler,
Smith,
Sam Cassell,
Vernon Maxwell.
I was on that mannequin earlier. You said Steve Nash. I was so damn gone on that mannequin. I said, Steve Nash still playing ball, motherfucker?
You know what? He might as well start playing ball because he would probably be doing that better than he's a head coach because the dude can't coach shit.
People don't get that man his props. Steve Nash was one hell of a fucking point guard.
Oh, he was. He was great.
He
was a fantastic point guard for both Dallas and Phoenix.
Yeah. There's no denying
that.
I used to love when him and Dirk were on the same team. When we had
Finley,
Dirk, Nash, and Finley.
Finley was nice.
Oh, Michael Finley was
Dirk McGurk.
Michael Finley was great.
Do him dirty, Dirk. Killing
Dirk
him out
McGurk.
there. That's one of my favorite players of all time.
With that damn knee up and the way he shoot. Oh my God.
Yeah, Dirk was nasty, man.
I like Tim Duncan. I was always a fan of Tim Duncan. I thought he was one of my all-time favorite players. That dude just had that calm demeanor. You could talk trash to him. It never phase him, and he'd just go out there and he'd make you look silly.
Nah, his homeboy made you look silly. Ginobili, goddamn kill you.
All three, and Tony Parker, him too. All three of them. They made us look silly when we played him in the championship.
I'm talking about all them. Don't forget David Robinson.
Oh my God.
Yeah, David Robinson was a monster.
Yeah. We had Robinson and Duncan, both
David
of them there.
Robinson was in the original Space Jam, so you know.
Yes, he was. So was Sean Bradley and Muggsy Bogues.
Sean Bradley. I ain't heard that name in years.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah,
Muggsy
Sean
Bogues.
Bradley.
Muggsy Bogues was a bad motherfucker, boy.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
But
And
shit,
Larry
Sean
Johnson
Bradley,
too.
George Mirasan, all those big 7-foot tall white
Manu
dudes get dunked on all the
Bowl.
time.
Yeah.
You remember that U.S. All-Star
Yao
team?
Ming?
Muggsy Bogues, fucking
Remember Yao
what was it?
Ming?
Sean Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now that
Oh, the
fade
Rain
quick.
Man. The Rain Man was
Oh,
nasty
that's
before he
my
got on them
him.
drugs.
Him in the glove. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
That
Oh,
that's
Gary
Seattle
the
team
Payton.
was
Yup.
nasty.
Gary Payton
Remember
was nasty.
they had Sam Perkins, him, the
Woo,
glove,
Sam
Percy
Perkins,
that,
funny
Hawkins,
looking ass.
that left
David
shrimp.
Wingate,
Yeah,
Detlef
Detlef
Shrimp.
Shrimp.
Who was
Yeah,
it?
Sean
Sam
Kemp.
They had a
Cassell.
Sean
Remember
squad.
Kemp
Sam
was a
Cassell?
monster.
Yeah, Sam Cassell,
yeah.
alien looking ass.
Yeah.
That man
James
like a straight
Worthy.
alien.
James
Yep.
Worthy. Yup.
You say alien looking ass. Hell, what do you talk about Popeye Jones in? What do you call
Oh
him?
my
Oh my
God.
God, that is an alien
What's
looking mess.
what's the
Yeah.
dude? What's the dude that played for the Spurs? Something Hill, Tyrone Hill. That was a ugly
Oh
dude.
man,
Yeah.
I remember
Tyrone
him in
Hill.
I remember him in the movie Eddie when they were talking about a black
Yeah,
hole and he was at the throw line and everybody just stopped because he was breaking it down. I'm like, yo, that's a smart ass dude.
right.
No
But
doubt
yeah,
about
I
it.
mean, the old basketball, man, the
Mm,
old playoff basketball, you can stop tuning in and that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Mm-hmm.
good stuff.
At least with football, it's changed a whole lot, but at least you're still watchable. Man, I can't even watch basketball hardly no more. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
It's tough. The playoffs last year were not that great. It was just ridiculous. Some of the calls they were calling and these guys flopping all over the place. It's too much about. We were talking about, Coach. The mid-range game is gone in the NBA. It's all
Mm-hmm.
3 points
Yep.
or dunks.
Oh,
There's no
dunks.
guys shooting the mid-range jump as much as they used to. Everybody's always trying to shoot behind the 3-point line, knocking down those threes consistently because guys like Steph Curry and some of these other 3-point shooters that made it like that. People just
Man, I
don't
can
want to trust the mid-range game anymore.
still watch old playoff basketball to this day.
Shit,
Mm.
Jordan used to do fadeaways from
Yes, he
fucking
did.
mid range.
As
Turn
Right.
around
Byron
fadeaway.
Russell, as Byron Russell in Game 6 against the Bulls when
Ask
Jordan just
Byron
tied him
Russell
up.
anytime he played Jordan.
Right.
Yeah, that
And then,
last play,
yep.
that where he twisted him up and like Jordan went one way and then he dashed to the other and hit that mid-range jump shot.
I
It's a
love the
thing of
NBA
beauty.
when a guy like Rodman can make the Hall of Fame by basically being a rebounder.
Yep.
Yo, but listen, still to this day, you name somebody who's better crashing the boards than him.
No, Rodman's still the best.
Rodman's still the best. It's not even
Yeah.
close.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
That
guy just
man
was
can guard.
swagger
That
him.
man guarded the center to the point guard,
Yeah.
literally.
hmm The only guy I could say was closer to him was pretty solid was Ben Wallace because Ben Wallace was another
Man,
one of
Ben
those guys.
Wallace ain't got a shit on Rodman.
Wallace
man.
was a damn good defender in his day. That
yeah,
guy
he
can
was,
guard
but he was,
anybody,
but he
and he
was
can
no
rebound and
Rodman.
block
Yeah,
shots.
He was no Rodman though, Jeff.
I wasn't
Man,
doing.
Rod-
I'll say that
man.
he's not a Rodman, but he was damn good in his day.
I still
What
to
the
this
fuck
day
was
though.
wrong with his head? That's what I want to know.
Who Rodman?
Rasheed Wallace. That motherfucker looked like back of
Oh, that
bottom
little.
of a Nestle Crunch
It look
bar.
like
Right
he
in that
had.
little spot.
He looked like he had ringworm and it never
That
healed
motherfucker
correctly.
looked like the
Yeah.
bottom of a Nestle Crunch bar on the back of his
And I
goddamn
tell you
head.
what, Rasheed Wallace was nice, boy.
That whole team was
Mhm.
nice with Hamilton and Billups
Trailblazers.
and Prince.
Ball don't lie.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
And them
love that
boys
shit.
was nice, man.
Yeah. They're the only team
But
that won a championship without a superstar.
I said I want to go 3 hours. You got me at 2 hours and 52 minutes. I'm gonna get the hell out of here.
Right.
Got me reminiscing about old basketball, man. But I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Thank you guys for always coming in, representing with the Big Blue Crew. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little slideshow I gave you guys tonight. I think that was pretty damn funny.
The Holiday one's still funny as hell.
Yeah. I still don't know what the hell I was doing when I created that picture, man. I don't
If it's
know
inaccurate though, it's pretty much the accurate saying though. What the hell is the guy?
He was making picket signs. We about to be out there like, hey, we won't go. Gotta get up out of here.
Right.
There's no Riggs. Riggs is not even there and like all banged
Poor
up
Riggs.
either.
No,
Yeah,
we got a
poor
new Riggs. That's Lil Hammy.
Right.
Lil Hammy's never going to be Riggs. Riggs at least did
Picking up where
something.
Riggs left off, but I'm going to continue
Sneeze and
to
get
handle
injured.
the media narratives that they put on us.
Sneeze, it'll get injured. Achoo! Oh, there goes my hamstring.
Yeah. Damn it.
Damn it! I'll pull another one.
Ah, shit.
Shit.
Coach, I pulled my hamstring again.
Right. But man, appreciate you guys. Get ready to head out, man. Get ready to get some rest. Got to do some stuff tomorrow. Especially put out a show for you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Jeff, for tuning in.
You already know,
And
bro.
we even got to listen to Sanchez, man. Mark Sanchez. So it is what it is. Check out
you
the
said
Big
it
Blue
right.
Crew.
You said it right. Mac Sanchez. He was macking on his lineman's ass and shit.
Yes, he was.
He brought a whole new definition to kissing ass.
He liked the taste of booty. He liked the taste of booty cheeks. Clap, clap.
That's true. Yes.
But check out the Big Blue Crew. Go like and subscribe to all these wonderful
What a
gentlemen
time.
with the big right.
Saturday. Tippy tie under red.
Man, y'all check out the Big Blue Crew. Go subscribe to these guys' channels, man. Check them out.
Judy.
And we'll
Hey,
see you on the next. We're gonna see you on the next stream, which is tomorrow night, Thursday night football on the Sports Channel. And if you don't show up to Thursday night football, you're gonna get a Judy shot. But until then, man, peace, man. Y'all silly as hell, man. I can't do nothing with y'all, man. I can't take y'all nowhere. This is a Big Blue Crew production.